Hello, everyone out there on Twitch, YouTube, whatever platform you're watching this with. I am Masahiko Ichiro. Today, I am with two other streamers and YouTubers, Josh and Haseo. Now, you guys can speak, don't worry.
Hello, everybody. Good morrow to you all.
What's going on, everybody?
So, I met Haseo years ago when he had the Koji page. He still has it on Facebook. He is my director for Abridgment Frontier, currently on hiatus, but there's other projects we're working on and such. We've met Josh via a raid, and I've been watching a lot of his streams since. Now, we recently had well, not recently, but a couple weeks ago, there was a interview between YouTuber Yong Ye and Kotaku editor Jason Schreier. Now, for me personally, I want to go kind of last for this kind of discussion for this particular topic. The main reason being is my opinion changed a great deal after rewatching it and also seeing other YouTubers' opinion on it. Now, Josh, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, sure. I thought the overall, the conversation was pretty good between Young Ye and Jason Schreier. I thought that best of both worlds, kind of colliding and trying to reach a common understanding. I don't think everybody saw it that way after the fact, but that's sort of what I kind of got for it. What do you guys think?
Well, I'm going loud. I keep forgetting. You go first, Theo.
I don't really have much to add to this because I haven't watched the video just due to so much going on, both personal life and so much shit going on in the gaming industry that this just kind of blew through my mind. I completely forgot about it.
That's perfectly fine.
I will say that, Kotaku connections aside, I already have kind of a negative opinion of Jason Schreier due to kind of he has some, from articles of his that I've read. I will say, my opinion on Jason Schreier, he has done some very good things for the remnants of games journalism, such as his coverage of the Unsung Story Kickstarter, but he's also done a lot of really bullshit reactionary pieces. Like he did two or three articles all about the mobile version of Final Fantasy VI that were all about how the graphics were changed and how he didn't like that. And yeah, the comment section back in the day for that gave him the nickname that I always associate with him, which is Jason Crier. Young, yeah, I'm a fan of. He does admittedly jump onto bandwagons a bit without sometimes doing proper research, but more often than not, he's a very level-headed, reliable source to listen to without going into cartoonish anger, but without trying to, be a fence-sitter for the sake of neutrality.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. When it comes down to Young Yeah, he does go into a lot of the bandwagons. Also, Haseo, thank you for introducing me to Young Ye's YouTube channel about a year ago, I believe.
Yeah, it was the Unsung Story video that I showed you.
Yeah, once again, thank you for introducing me to Young Ye, guys.
You're welcome.
I've been watching a lot of his videos. Now, my thought on it initially, and I still kind of feel this way, it was handled well, but could have been handled better. And the answer is, well, for anything can be handled better. The thing is, when it came down to it, there were times where, and this is my initial thought, it felt like Jason was attacking Young Yeah at times, and it was like, wait, I'm sitting back like, hold up, did he just say that? Like it really.
Yeah, there were some times like that. Yeah, they felt like pretty aggressive.
Yeah, and it wasn't even pretty aggressive. There were times he was overly aggressive when he didn't even need to. Like one of the comments that it been ringing through my head for like the last 2 weeks now, and that was, um, you disagree with me that the video game industry isn't the best place it's been in years, and the first thing that came to mind was no, we have the FTC loot box investigation that's going on and ban, which we will be talking about later. We have an increased amount of predatory microtransactions. We have games that are not complete selling at full price and then DLC added upon that. And you can argue, yes, for some games, like Young Yeah even said, is arguable. But the current industry right now, it's eating itself alive, and it walked into the freaking Mount Moon with all the damn Zubat, but instead of Zubat, it was a Crobat with max speed stats, basically. Just Confused Ray and Supersonic out the wazoo.
Another thing I'm gonna throw in there that the industry's facing, uh, which a lot of journalists in Jason Schreier's field tend to ignore when they say like the industry's the best it's ever been, skyrocketing budgets that are getting increasingly difficult to make back in sales.
Yeah, that is something I completely forgot. And if you want my personal opinion when it comes to the budget, yes, you can make your games look beautiful, but at the same time, you need to, like, I personally feel that a lot of stories could have been so much better, or the battle system could have been touched so much better if they just spent a little extra time on that rather than graphics. And I know because I am technically in the PC gamer master race now, that I'm probably gonna get shunned for that. But for me personally, when it comes to video games, I love a good story, a strong narrative. If you want me to buy your game, and it could be a genre I hate. If you want me to buy your game, I personally love a very strong narrative. Like, I haven't played the Uncharted games. I really want to. Like, I might want to do a marathon of that. For me, maybe for a 24-hour stream. I know one of you guys would probably be interested in that. maybe jump on my stream and just talk about how awesome the game is. But that's off topic. Okay,
Yeah, I think you guys hit like the nail on the head there. Like these budgets for these games are like in the time frame that they have to make these games. It's just they can't get done in time.
They definitely need to go back to basics.
Mm-hmm. Like these AAA games are way too big in scale, and not enough time to make them. That the stories end up suffering. There's like a healthy amount of recycling, and especially when you look at like Battlefield, like the state that game came out, it's just appalling.
Oh, you want to talk about appalling? Final Fantasy 15, which I will get on later as well. But that game, I've beat it in the first week it came out. And going back to how I said a strong narrative, they were like it was, the pieces were there. For example, they were just not put in place well. And like I said, I will touch on that later. But the battle system, for one, the battle system definitely needed an overhaul because it was hold to win basically, and spam potions.
Sorry,
it's okay.
You want to talk about overusing the same assets and stuff from previous games? Then Fallout 76, it literally checks for, before it launches, even though there's no physical disc for the PC version, it checks to see if Fallout 4 is inserted first.
It's actually funny you mentioned the Fallout stuff. That's our next topic. Well,
Perfect segue.
exactly. For me personally, I've been watching. My personal sources for this was Young Yeah, The Quartering, and Sid Alpha. I'm pretty sure both of you are also watching Young Yeah, and I believe Haseo, you was watching some Sid Alpha, correct?
Yeah, Young Yeah, Sid Alpha, and just all the fucking memes that have come out of Fallout 76.
Okay, before we actually get into this, because you brought up a meme, there's a YouTube channel called R2 Game, right? It's this Irish streamer and YouTuber. Hilarious guy. I showed you his video about the Planet Coaster, how he made the blender.
Yeah.
Oh, it's only 300 G's on the body. um, there's a meme for when he plays City Skylines. Whenever he calls massive destruction, he plays country roads. You see where I'm going with this?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's not the same song that they played in Fallout 76, right?
That is the same song. That's a song I
that they played in the trailer for it.
Yeah, that's the song I liked back when I was a kid. When I found out they used that theme song, I was jumping with joy. But now I'm seeing the absolute train wreck. I'm like, almost heaven.
Bug Virginia.
Well, I guess we could say Tom Howard won't be getting any more leather jackets for a while, which is another meme. But
Todd was wrong. It doesn't just work.
remember, it's not a bug; it's a feature.
There's too many damn features.
Hold on.
You know you have a problem when you're trying to like nuke a player with all the nukes you could possibly use without crashing the server, and he's still not dying.
Mm-hmm.
You
Oh,
guys had to get involved in that.
I haven't even heard of that one. But
Yeah, there was a player that was invincible, and the devs had to like shoot nukes at him to try and kill him, and they couldn't do it.
I mean, they quit. Hold on. This is a server-based game, correct? Like an MMO.
Yes, this is server based.
And they couldn't just do /ban in the person's
No, they
name.
couldn't. They didn't do that. They just tried to kill him.
Oh my goodness, Maple Story, a game that came out back when I was in high school, and in the GMS server. That's all they had to do. All the GM had to do. Oh my god.
It's because this is the first online game built using Bethesda's creation engine. And this is an engine that is specifically geared towards single-player games. It was never meant for an MMO, and yet they Frankensteined it into an MMO by just adding more stuff onto this 10-year-old engine.
All right.
Skyrim could barely run on that engine. I don't know how they thought like we need this engine for this job.
Yeah.
And there was actually a video. But before I go into that one, excuse me. Let me catch everyone else up to date, though I'm pretty sure. Oh my goodness, go away, Melwell Bites. You already know it is because you and Megatron teased me about that. But
Did you activate Windows yet?
No. But to get everyone kind of up to date on the whole fiasco of Bethesda, Fallout 76, its data breach, and the canvas bag. And at the time of this recording, which I haven't seen just yet because I just got off work and this is the first thing I did when coming here, the ultra-wide fiasco, which... Watch Young Ye's video on that. Fallout 76, that everyone knows right now, is currently under a class action lawsuit for deceptive refund practices, and at one point it was going to be the canvas bags. They did a bait and switch, and they had advertised a very nice canvas bag, which I wouldn't mind owning myself, honestly. And they gave out nylon trash bags, basically.
Yeah.
Now, as it's recording and everything, they basically said, "Hey, yeah, just excuse me, provide us with proof, and we'll just send you out the bag."
Yeah.
But there was an issue with that, a data breach, where you could see like I believe it was the last four digits.
It was what happened was random users with Bethesda accounts could view support tickets sent to Bethesda from other players that included personal info such as addresses, email addresses, credit card information.
Yeah, it was the last four digits from what
last four digits and type of card used.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh, trust me, I still have more information on a data breach, but it's not Bethesda. But they could also open and close those tickets too. You know that, right?
They couldn't do anything with those tickets. They could just view them.
Oh, one of the sources I was watching said that they could.
Well, I haven't heard anything about people being able to open and close them. If they could open and close them, no one got the chance to because the whole issue was fixed within a few hours. But Bethesda never directly addressed that it was even an issue. They just said that they performed maintenance on their help servers or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, I know they're investigating their they're doing an investigation to see if anything else was stolen. Also, I want to talk more about the bags. Now, Josh, have you seen the bags for the promoters, basically, and the other editors, right?
I do have
Yeah,
something to clarify about that.
Oh, okay.
I do have something to clarify
Go ahead,
about that. Those were not the same kind of bags that were supposed to be given out with the collector's edition. The collector's edition were duffel bags. These were backpacks. And these were given out at a press event that people were invited to, which this is a common practice. Is it scummy that Bethesda obviously had access to enough canvas to produce these bags for these promoters? Yeah, but and the fact that they were obviously able to suddenly end the great canvas shortage of 2018 within a few days. But this is not like, oh, they had a secret stash of canvas bags that they were giving to promoters, but giving everyone else these nylon trash bags. No, that's not what was going on. It was a completely different kind of bag than what they were selling to the collector's edition buyers.
Yeah, I know that part. But what I wanted to know is, I know you both seen the pictures of those backpacks.
Yeah.
Now, me personally,
completely different designs.
yeah. Which one did you like best, guys? I'm actually kind of curious.
Well, I kind of like the nylon design of it because it could fit the helmet inside. So,
Wait, the trash bag?
The design,
Well,
not the
like,
material.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, the right material, exactly.
I mean, I gotta go with the duffel bag design too, with proper canvas material, just because, like, you know, so many of these collector's editions come with backpacks. It's nothing special.
I'll be honest, I really didn't think about how now that you mentioned it, I'm like, oh yeah, because we had Watch Dogs 2 came out with a backpack, correct?
Yeah. I think.
Then we had another game. I can't think of it. I think
like,
Fallout.
backpacks are a common piece of merchandise for like collector's editions or loot crate stuff or whatever. It's duffel bags aren't as common,
Yeah,
especially canvas ones.
Okay. Before at first I was going to say the backpack, but then that you mentioned that, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna lean duffel bag as well. But
I think
oh,
I
go ahead.
think I still have like way back in the PS3 days. I still have my infamous two bag that has like the Sly Cooper logo on it.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah, like those bags are super uncommon too.
Yeah, if you still have it, can you take a picture of it and put it on Twitter? I can actually edit that in. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll pull it out and take a picture.
All right. Now what I want to know, where do you see Bethesda in the next 5 years? Honestly, after this whole fiasco and continuing fiasco.
Here's the thing. There's a lot of fallout from this, pun intended. But here's the problem. Bethesda is more than just Fallout and Elder Scrolls. Bethesda is also Doom, Wolfenstein, Rage, all these other series from studios that they have bought up in the meantime. So, even if this does bad publicity for them and maybe the Fallout series goes into hibernation for a while, it's not going to harm the company as a whole too badly, just because they have too many other big IPs to fall back on.
What about you?
Yeah,
I see it as sort of like, early 2010s Capcom, where they were shit towards one specific fan base, but they had so many other IPs to fall back on that it didn't affect them too much overall.
All right.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. They got their ass kicked in this particular genre, like going into like the multiplayer, but they still do single player very well. And I think like Doom Eternal, the next Wolfenstein games are all going to continue that like single player dominance. And we hope for the best when 5 years down the road Starfield comes out.
Oh yeah. For me personally, I have to disagree slightly, and that's only slightly. I do agree that I strongly believe we are going to see Fallout 5 come out probably as early as, let's say, 2026. That should be a good hiatus. A good hiatus for them to kind of reevaluate the series and what made that series great. Right? Now, when it comes to Elder Scrolls, I can, because it's on the same engine, I can honestly see them maybe pushing it back a little bit, just because of this whole issue. Because there's people even saying that Fallout 76, because it is multiplayer, it looks worse than Fallout 4. So with this in mind, I don't like the fact that this is hurting Bethesda, and that, well, they're acting in this manner, for one, right? Because you already know I personally I want to start a like a lit story time where I kind of a role play type character for Skyrim. I already told you one of them being like a cop that gets captured in bang bang Skyrim. But I really do see this hurting their bottom line significantly, but not significantly enough where, like you said, it's going to affect other franchises. But people, for at least the next, I would say, a minimum of 2.5 to 3.5 years, approach anything they make with caution. I see that. That's why I say I agree a small amount. And I'm looking at this as someone who has done business. Like, I was a key holding manager, so I do have some experience in that kind of field. Because customer service It's a big thing. Don't piss off your customers.
They're hurting on goodwill, that's for sure.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I will quote what the quartering, I believe Sid Alpha said this as well, and even Young, yeah. Those glitches and stuff that we found quirky and endearing, can only get you so far. Like, I want to talk about the Creation Club real quick before I go into the other issue about data breaches. The Creation Club, the way they have done it now, it needs massive work before it was even implemented. Like, there's so much content for Fallout 4 and so little for Skyrim, and when they do have anything that come out for either game, there's already something out there for free, or if you want, you could donate, that runs better, looks better, and has more content. Now, what I strongly believe is a lot of those creators, I think I can't remember their names, and I watched a lot of MXR mods. Give them a permanent position, right? Because they're optimizing your game already. They're already fixing your game. Have them in as your alpha testers so they can send information back to you. And not only that, because they have modding experience, can actually work with you to make sure your game it's not falling apart. You have a minimal amount of glitches, and we're not going to see the same amount of glitches or the same glitch over and over and over again, like the hilarious backwards dragon. That's kind of how I feel. Like when I look at, oh, not only that, I'm not sure. Don't quote me on this, but I know in the mod section for the PS4, because well, Sony's being an asshole with this shit. A topic for another day. Whenever I try to do like just the visual mods, it affects the you can't get trophies, and it's like this literally has no impact on my game. It just makes it look nice. Even if you just have like the signs get, and that's stupid.
Speaking of testing, can we talk about how bullshit that whole beta test was? Just due to the fact that they called it a beta test, and then it launched in the exact same state that the beta test was in.
That was a stress test on the server.
Meaning that either it was just a server stress test that they advertised as a beta test, or they launched it in beta.
You know what they should have. You know what they should have done, and I think that this actually could have been really good for the industry as a whole. Advertise this as an alpha testing to work with some of the developers, basically. Let this is this would have been a good insight to have fans work with some of the developers and say, hey, yeah, this is kind of cool, but I think we're missing some of this. Or they could have actually gotten some feedback about the audio tapes. And while some people said they went on for too long, they were annoying, you could have had a few NPCs actually. And I think that could have even a couple of NPCs definitely could have brought some life into this game.
Yeah, the idea of an MMO with NPCs always stuck out to me as odd, because it's like, congratulations, you have created a world that is entirely inhabited by players and therefore gives you no goal to work towards.
Exactly.
Yeah, we've seen tons of like games like this that had NPCs in it. I don't understand why specifically Fallout needed no NPCs. And, like,
it's because Bethesda was fucking lazy. They wanted to get this out as quickly as possible with as little work as possible.
Yeah, and like they didn't even delay it so they can keep the holiday season. It's like just so they can push it out at Christmas time.
And that's why that's why I say, and I think you both would agree with me on this. If they had it be where, yeah, you paid $60 to be part of the alpha, right? To work with the devs, to actually kind of get your hands a little muddy and a little dirty with them, to see how the game actually works, performs, and this also could have been a good way to do a stress test, correct?
Yeah.
Now, what they could have done is, how would you reward those players, right? Let's say there's a good 200. Why not make them NPCs? Congratulations, how you said there was no NPCs. These characters are legit NPCs now. They're actually real people using their real voices. I mean, you could just say, hey, yeah, simple fax machine or email. They had to print it out and fax it to you doing a NDA, right?
Yeah.
That right there would have been a wonderful way to get people into it. Let people, okay, yeah, during these days you can actually stream it so people can kind of see what the world looks like. Keep in mind, you need to notify them, hey, yeah, it's an alpha, but there's going to be so much more. Now, as much as we all kind of shit on Hello Games and No Man's Sky, they've made wonderful strides, for example, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm going to be...
Good enough to get into the Game Awards.
Exactly, and like I said, we will be getting on that too. And there's even another streamer I want to talk. I kind of want to give a shout out to for having this game and letting me see more of it and everything. I even told him, he was like super hyped and super like, the whole chat was excited about it. But I'm not sure if you guys also know about another data breach, which arguably is bigger. Now, this is from the Quartering YouTube, and like I said, everything I will have in the description. So, EA has been leaking the information, and it was leaked on Tuesday, December 11th. The email had CS notes, related information. The information that was leaked. Oh yeah, it was. I messed up my notes a little bit. Ooh. Okay, it was notified on the 11th of December that there was a leak. A former employee had internal reports such as number of players, access logs from very big oof on my on my note taking here. I haven't done this since high school. Okay, I got all the notes right here. So a former employee found this out, and it was basically the information had leaked on the 11th. The former employee found this out on the 4th, and there was also more information leaked that outside sources, external sources and systems were able to access this. So this was not just one person. The information that was leaked were emails, case numbers, report submission dates, game platform, internal account, game name, and public persona, and the advisor case note which I mentioned before. The case notes may have contained a user's IP address, age, alternate email address, and hashed IDs. This is the second major breach in weeks, basically.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is
a big one. Ouch.
Yeah, this is as big, and this is long. This is days, so this actually is bigger than Bethesda's leak. The question is, we don't really know how long that leak has been going on at Bethesda, though. So, and I do know the Quartering even made a good point that basically companies at most just get a slap on the wrist and suffer no repercussions, which is really bad. And I do want to quote something, I actual quote from the Quartering, and this is what EA said: "Make sure you have a strong password because now quoting the Quartering, because now that's your problem." And he even asked, "What's the point of having a strong password when you just told everyone the passwords were leaked?"
Essentially, EA saying, yo, shit gonna get robbed.
Basically. So, a word of warning to everyone out there: yes, change your passwords, make them stronger than they were. Not even your final form is not a password. But I do want to give a shout out as of this recording. the Quartering has a website that they're working on that's in development called Exclusively Games, and basically it's going back to the roots of journalism where politics are not going to be discussed, which I think we all can agree is getting a little overwhelming.
Yeah, they're gonna like I think keep the politics to a minimum when it comes to game,
Yeah.
but when it comes to just everything else, there's gonna be none of that on there.
Yeah, and I love that, and a little bit of me wants to see Sid Alpha on there, and there's actually a lot of people wanting to see that. But Sid Alpha did make a good point about if he joins them, if they do something wrong, he's part of that wrong, you know?
Yeah.
And I understand where he's coming from. But
Yeah, I think he wants to like be more of a freelance kind of like thing as
not
opposed to position.
not even so much of a freelancer, more as someone that he can support on the outside. Now, if he was to freelance, which I might try to tag both these YouTubers in a post, and let's see if you can do an article, maybe one article a month even for them, which I would like to see. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Josh, have you ever seen Sid Alpha?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I'm a big fan of his.
Oh, really? Okay. I didn't know that, so that's actually really cool. Now we have.
Yeah, I subscribed to him when he was 2,000 strong, if I remember.
Wasn't that
He
the?
showed his face and then he stopped doing that.
Yeah, the when I came into Sid Alpha, it was the what was that game? I wanted it now. I can't think of it. The issue with the lady that was DMCA everybody.
Oh, Zoe Quinn.
Star Mazer.
No, Star Mazer. Yeah, it wasn't Zoe Quinn.
Not Zoe Quinn. Fuck. What's her name?
Alex Mauer. Alex Mauer.
Alex Mauer. Yeah, Alex Mauer.
Yeah, that's when I came in.
Alex Mauer. Yeah, the devil of DMCA.
Hey, don't forget her cohort, the guy in the UK that also always has a hard on for Sid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of people that have a hard on for him.
Yeah.
There's tons of dirty devs.
Yeah, and not only that, I love his evil Brit. I'm actually going to, once I get my paycheck, I'm gonna get one of those evil Brit t-shirts.
Nice.
Oh.
I wanted to throw in there. I looked about Fallout 76. I looked up what the whole issue with the ultra wide update is.
Oh.
Turns out it's a pretty simple issue, and it's an issue that shouldn't exist, but it just goes to show how half-assed Bethesda's doing with their updates. Their ultra-wide thing, for ultra-wide monitors.
Yeah. It's
supposed to stretch it to whatever aspect ratio, 21 by something.
I think it's 22. I don't know. I know you're talking about, yeah.
21 by 9.
Okay.
Is the aspect ratio. It's supposed to display it at 21 by 9. What it actually does is it basically modifies the INI file to stretch the image horizontally to fit that.
You know what that reminds me of? You
What?
remember an episode of The Family Guy when they got the big screen TV and it was just a line for the movie they was watching?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, it just stretches it horizontally, and that makes the heads-up display look squashed.
Oh man, and your characters get fatter.
Yeah, when they're not getting fucking bizarro proportions in the power armor.
Oh man, too much Charles Burger. Too much Charles Burger.
So much bees, Chorger.
All right. You guys are both familiar with the FTC and the whole loot box and microtransaction fiasco, right?
Yep.
Young Ye's got me covered.
Yeah. So some of the statistics are that 30% of children in the UK have been gambling, and by the year 2022, it'll be a $50 billion industry. And we already know multiple countries in the EU and Japan have already taken precautions. They started banning some of this stuff, and some of it, I think Japan didn't ban, but I believe it's regulated. I will have to look at each individual country. But what are your thoughts on the whole FTC loot box fiasco? I keep saying fiasco. Possible regulations. There we go.
About damn time.
What about you, Ja? Oh.
About damn time.
You too, huh?
I mean, Belgium has already banned them.
And EA saying fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah, EA is willing to go to jail for that box.
Yeah. China and Japan are moving to regulate loot boxes. Loot boxes are something that should have been tackled a while ago before they spiraled out of control.
I agree.
But, better late than never. Better late than never, assuming that, we don't run into the same kind of brick wall that we ran into last year, where we get incompetent people being spoken to by someone who knows how to play dirty politics and pay them off. This could have been nipped in the bud with Battlefront 2 before it got even worse.
Yeah, I love
this really could have been stopped with Battlefront 2, but it went nowhere in the US at least. It thankfully stopped, or it started a worldwide conversation. That's a good thing. But it could have stopped overall with Battlefront 2 before loot boxes really went all over the damn place this year.
Yeah.
And that's just because, the people that are in most countries' governments, they don't know anything about video games, so they don't understand what the issue is.
Haseo.
Yeah?
Send them to Young the Quartering, and Said Alpha. Shameless plug-in for some of our favorite YouTubers. But I love the fact you brought up EA, right? Now, there's a right way and a wrong way to do loot boxes and microtransactions, which is very hard to actually bring up the right way. I mean, I can see strictly cosmetic, and you know exactly what you're getting. That's a microtransaction. That's good, but keep it at a low price,
Strictly cosmetic, low price. You know the odds of getting it.
Not even
the
odds.
Fact that you don't know the odds of getting each tier of items is what I would say is fair, because you don't saying the specific odds for getting each individual item that's available in a loot box, that's going overboard. But saying, if you buy this kind of loot box, you get such and such % of getting a legendary item, for example.
Yeah, even then,
something like that, that's a lot. But considering how out of control the problem's gotten over the years, I think that's starting to become necessary.
Yeah, not even loot boxes. I'm still somewhat against that, but let's take Overwatch for example. Let's say you want this really cool outfit for Widowmaker. Give us the option to pay a little more to even if it's $1, $1 or $2 more, right? Yeah. Meaning you get that one item, you're not going to get the 4 or 5 you would normally get in a loot box, but you have exactly what you want. Now,
yes, that is a perfect way to handle it. It's the fact that so many of these games give you it's either loot boxes or nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
exactly. And I think like Overwatch started to get a little bit better when they got rid of the duplicates.
yeah, I
So
like that.
like yeah, even though they kind of added more items like with each update, so you could roll those, but at the same time, I think it's missing like things like a pity counter, like Rainbow Six Siege for their packs. Like each time you don't hit a rare drop, there's a pity counter, and that gives you like it increases your chances of getting a rare drop with each pack you open. So I think like a lot of loot box systems are missing that.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. That's actually really clever.
Yeah, it'll go from like 3% if you don't get it from there. It'll go up to like 8%, and then it'll just keep going until you hit like the threshold, and it resets after.
That's not bad.
Like, if you want to see one of the worst ways that's been handled, in my opinion, not counting Battlefront 2 EA because that's the obvious choice.
Mm-hmm.
And not counting mobile games because that's a cancer all on its own.
Oh, I'll be honest. I thought you was gonna mention the Disney strangling the kids you pay money part.
No, that wasn't Disney. That was Harry Potter.
Oh, Harry Potter. My bad. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's right. Strangle the kids.
Strangle the kids until they pay. If anyone remembers playing Mass Effect 3 multiplayer and how you only started out with either being able to play as a male human or a female human. If you wanted to play as any other class, you had to buy loot boxes or earn loot boxes, and this is before loot boxes were a common thing.
Yeah.
So this is like 2011, 2012 era.
You wouldn't know who's also like. This is not so much a loot box, but microtransactions. You wouldn't know who's doing it really badly. Take-Two and Rockstar.
Oh, God.
As someone who used to play GTA 5 religiously on PS3 and PS4, everything is too damn expensive. Like, in order to get a property, it would, like, I don't play that much anyway anymore because I work. I work 40 hours a week. I try and stream. I try to do some stuff on YouTube. Well, I procrastinate to do stuff on YouTube. But, I'm at least trying, For me, if I were to drop all of that and just play even for like 2 hours, it would take me like most of the month to get like $1 million. Granted, there's no event going on because I don't play that much. I like to do races. People cheat like motherfucking crazy on those races.
Bought, like the really good cars, and they're just destroying you.
Exactly, and the thing is, like, if I do the racing, I have it where you can't touch nobody, there's no weapons, and you have to give the game get you. People still find a way to cheat somehow.
Yeah.
Like, I've actually played someone that got DDoS while playing. I don't know how.
Guy takes his game serious.
Yeah, he got DDoS. We're sitting here like, okay. So, I just stopped basically playing altogether. Like, I have it on PC, but I plan on modding the hell up out of it. Now, EA is not only to blame for the whole FTC, investigating loot boxes and the microtransactions that are really predatory. The ESA themselves, if you ask me, should be under investigation for possible taking of bribes, if you think about it.
Yes, because they were adamantly defending this shit.
They still are. They're
adamantly defending this as like saying that if you start regulating microtransactions, like, then that's infringing on the creativity of the gaming industry. No, it isn't.
And
games existed for decades before microtransactions were a thing. The fuck are you on about?
Exactly. Now, Josh, I have a question to ask you now, okay? Let's say the regulations get pushed and we actually... let's say they can't push this now, so that means they have to bring out a complete product of a game and not really abuse DLC because that can also be seen as a microtransaction now, right? Now, if the game was going to be anywhere from $70 to about $90, would you be okay with that if it meant that we got rid of the predatory microtransactions and predatory loot boxes?
See, it's funny you ask. I'm from Toronto, Canada. So for me, like a $60 game US is actually an $80 game Canadian.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So like in the same context as this, it would be a $90 game to an $110 that it would get like bumped up, whatever the conversion. And I already don't buy games new because of that. Like I think like dollars is way too expensive.
You're like me then. Wait for a sale.
Yeah. Yeah, I wait for a sale. Yeah, I'm usually like in that camp. And I think like if they got rid of like microtransactions altogether, we might be missing out on like, let's say as DLC is part of that, we might be missing out on stories like Bioshock Infinite, Burial Ed, or we might be missing out on like the Spider-Man DLCs that have been pretty good.
Well, I'm sorry to cut you off, but to me, on those are more like how back in the day, how there were expansion packs to me.
Yeah.
That's a whole different story on that, in my personal opinion on that.
I think like the problem is like people outside of the like you and I and like actual gamers, like people in the ESA and government can't delineate the two, and then they put a ban on one, and then the other gets suffer like as.
Yes and no. I could actually see expansion packs making a comeback. And
like on this kind of thing, right?
Yeah, like how Final Fantasy 11 was. How you had the game, then you had Chains of Palethion, and then two other ones. I can't think of it.
Or like World of Warcraft still does.
Yeah, and even Final Fantasy 14, I believe they have on disc.
Yeah, they have expansion packs.
Yeah, like expansion packs as a whole need to come back because
expansion packs outside of the MMO scene, we should say.
Outside,
because they still exist for MMOs, but in like back in the day, you would get them for like RPGs, strategy games.
Yeah. Oh, perfect example actually. Far Cry. You had that it was Far Cry 3 Primal and that Neon type one. I can't think of the name of it.
Yeah,
Blood Dragon.
Yeah, that right there is a perfect example. I mean, they aren't massive expansion packs, but technically speaking, they are expansion packs.
Yeah, I'd be completely okay like if we got like a resurrection of expansion packs like that because they're usually really good when they come out.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, actually, that would maybe. Okay, I think we found something we can actually send Young instead Alpha. But
we also forgot can't forget Jim Sterling.
Oh yeah, I fucking love Jim. And if I make
for a while,
if I may quote that game that basically calls him a prick, fucking prick. Also,
super seducer.
Yeah, about that game, he has launched missiles at the convention they're in. Did he kill? Okay, did he understand how widespread a missile attack of that caliber would be?
No, he was just making a cheap shot at people that rightfully criticized his game for being fucking creepy.
I know, but a psychologist would be looking at him like, this man needs help. Because he just basically wanted to level a city because he's salty.
This is the same guy that issued DMCA takedowns against people that reviewed his game that he sent out review codes to.
Oh, like I Am Petty Jack, I think was one of them, right?
Yeah.
Now, before we end off on the loot box topic, I want to know, do you guys even see gaming as a live service? Do you see that happening? Possibly, maybe predatory if they do get if microtransactions and loot boxes get regulated or just flat out banned.
I mean, it's already kind of a thing, and I mean, a perfect recent example of games as a service where if the servers go down, your game is worthless would be Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5.
Oh, that's actually a good yeah, I completely forget
The
about
servers
that.
went down, meaning that the patch that installs everything past the tutorial stage can no longer be downloaded.
Really?
And yet the game's still being sold.
Wow.
Mm.
So like that huge like 5 GB patch that they put out, like
That installed the rest of the game. The disc only contains the tutorial.
oh man.
So we're already starting to see this, and like this is going to become a problem for retro collectors in the future. Like, what's the biggest problem that retro gamers face currently when you're collecting games from, like, let's be generous and say like PS1, PS2 era? It's coming across the rare games, right?
Yeah, the
Or
rare
disc
game.
drops,
Yeah,
or just discs that weren't taken care of properly.
exactly.
Now, with this whole live service stuff that's going on, and patches and stuff, it's like once those servers go down,
They're gone.
that content is gone forever unless someone somewhere has backed it up at a place where you can download it and you can somehow hack it onto your console so you can play it
Yeah.
the way that it was intended to be played. There's so much. I'm a big fan of Lost Media. I frequent the Lost Media wiki all the damn time.
Oh, you showed me so much from
Yeah.
there. Thank you again for that.
You're welcome. And like there's stuff that may end up on there pretty soon just because of this whole live service stuff that the games industry seems to be favoring nowadays, because they're focused on maximizing their profits now while not caring about historical preservation for gaming as a culture. They only care about making their profits during like their release window, maybe at the holiday season too. And then after that, they just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get our first taste when they finally stop pushing out Xbox 360s and PS3s.
Yeah, and Sony actually sent out an email to people like last month announcing that next year, I think sometime next year, they're shutting down the servers for PSN for PlayStation 3.
I think it was March or May. I can actually double check if you like.
So that's an entire store's worth. Depending on what that entails, whether they mean just online multiplayer or whether they mean everything on PSN is going down. That's a whole console's worth of content, digital content, including some stuff that's digital only, gone forever. Unless someone has just meticulously backed it up.
Yeah, like one game that comes to mind that's been like on and off the PlayStation Store is Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Oh, I have that.
Yeah, licensed games face this problem the worst out of all of them just because rights can change hands so many times.
Okay, I have
the Simpsons arcade game, the X-Men arcade game.
Yep, yeah, the X-Men arcade game for sure. That's been on and off the store too.
Yeah.
Alright, I have the date. It's March 8th.
Oh.
My birth month, so that's like a really bad birthday gift, Sony.
Yeah.
Damn, Sony's savage.
Yeah. So going with this, because this is basically the topic of the whole game industry, GameStop, right?
Yeah.
Now you guys are aware their stock has gone down about 13%. They got rid of Cricket, which was about so for I think what 700 million, and that counted for about 12%. And then consoles did well, which was trying to find out where I had that. Consoles did really well this year. Here we go. 12.8% increase for hardware sell. I can't keep saying.
Use your words.
Like, we're at about 12.8% increase for hardware sales towards.
See, you can do it as long as you're talking in a goofy voice.
Yeah. And basically because of Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Call of Duty, that counted for about 10.9%.
Oh yeah, that Spider-Man bundle was sold out everywhere.
Oh yeah, I heard. It was a madhouse at the mall for that. They basically lost about 500 million, to be exact, 448.6 million. And that's not really cash, that's just assets. Oh, excuse me. Now, the reason I want to bring this up, because if GameStop goes under, remember when Toys R Us went away?
Yeah.
It magically came back like a phoenix. A cheap-ass phoenix, but whatever.
Magically came back like a phoenix after laying off all their employees.
And not playing servants also.
Yep.
Now, when that went away, companies like Hasbro and such were really hurting in sales because their percent went down a lot, right? Now, if GameStop, and I forget who mentioned this, if I could find their YouTube channel, I will flash it on screen. But I kind of fear that the gaming industry might be hitting like their not great dust bowl, like their great depression temporarily at least. The only thing that's going to really alleviate this is that we have Target, Best Buy, Amazon. We have all these other proprietors that have the games. Yeah. But for someone like me, I do like to physically go. Now, what I want to ask, have you had any personal issues with GameStop?
Apart from, being cheated out of, good prices for games that hadn't even been opened, as in were still in their shrink wrap, not really.
What about you, Josh?
Yeah, I've had a couple of, one thing they do that I really don't agree with is they open their new games, and then, it's for security measures, but, they take the packaging out, and then when you get it new, they put the game back in, and then give you the copy. And, for me, that's used to me. How do I know that that's not, a used copy?
Yeah.
That you're selling new.
Yeah.
I'm a little particular about, that. And,
yeah.
Other than the fact that, a brand new game 3 months down the road, selling it back, and they're giving me $15, I paid $60 for it, or I paid $80 for it.
I mean, I could at least see 20 or 25, given it that first month at least, But go ahead.
Going off of that reminded me of something that I actually coincidentally read, a list of things that GameStop employees are not allowed to do by company rules. And one of them is to give you a full reimbursement for a new game, even if you returned it in less than an hour after you bought it. Because their store policy is, once the transaction's complete, even if you return it unopened, it's still used.
No, that's a lawsuit waiting to happen. And I'm not that kind of motherfucker that would sue. I really am that kind of motherfucker. But my issues have to deal with uneducated staff. I'm gonna go to the latest one I remember, in the earliest thing that recently happened to me, right? You saw my post on Facebook before about it. Back when the PS3 was in the middle of its lifespan, right? I went in and someone was talking about getting season pass, right? I was like, okay, okay, yeah, it's nice to have, but why would I do that when I can just wait patiently, get the Game of Year edition, pay $20 for it instead of paying $80 for everything? They really couldn't give me no answer. They're like, oh, but you get to play it right now. I'm like, okay, yeah, but I could buy 2, 4, 6, 4 Game of the Year edition games for that price.
I do have an answer for that. It's not lack of education. Company policy says that they are required to upsell you on stuff like season passes and collector's editions and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
I know that, but at the same time,
it's like they're not allowed to argue with customers about that kind of stuff. So that's why they didn't.
They're not allowed to argue with customers about that type of stuff, but they were arguing with me. This chick was arguing with me that I said I don't want it. Like I legit when I was done with my purchase, I hadn't gone back to that same.
Like,
GameStop.
It's a shit policy that they have to upsell you on all this stuff that's just blatant price gouging.
Yeah, legit. I was so angry that.
But that's less of a problem with employees and more of a problem with corporate policy, because another thing that I learned from that article was that employees, no matter how well they do on their individual sales, are not allowed to make commission.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I was there, maybe about a couple weeks, almost like last week. I was looking for, I'm still looking for one. I think I may have found one. Haseo and Handsome, under the Twitch streamer from the UK. Now he lives in the Midwest. Cool guy. He's helping me look for a steering wheel. I actually might go with the same model he went with. I was looking at the Thrustmaster. The one that cost $99 for the Xbox One. I want something that worked for a PC and Xbox One. The reliability for it was meh. I was curious and I was asking, oh, does it have... I noticed there's no shifter. Is the shifter going to be like on the steering wheel, like some drifters have, you know? And then racing is a niche audience. But I've been asking multiple GameStops this, and the fact that they don't even have a cheat sheet or at least a way, an open product, so you can at least examine it somehow. It's a little. And the guy was saying, "Oh, but this is a good price," and then he pointed to the other one that had the shifter, the actual manual shifter, which I'm actually going to end up spending $220 on a Logitech one, maybe a little more. I might go for the really nice leather one. I digress. He said, "Oh, but this one has the shifter and everything, and this is actually pretty nice. It's high quality." The first thing that came out my mouth was, "No, that's entry level." This guy, keep in mind, I've been into racing games since I was 4. F-Zero, Mario Kart, all of this, right? How are you going to tell me something is entry level or mid-range? $200 is still technically entry level when about $500 is mid-range, and then the super high quality, high range stuff is a minimum of about $900, and that's not including the chair, not including the frame.
Just buy a car and convert it into a steering wheel.
You know the funny thing is,
that'll give you the real feel of driving.
The funny thing you mentioned about that, I actually want to do that as a project. Like, I want some friends to do metalworking so we can make an actual frame of that. Get actual panels. And you loving this idea. Have it where you have one or two, like, a 2-player setup, basically.
I love it on one condition, that the car model it's based on is a DeLorean.
Any car model you freaking want. But yeah, I never thought about a DeLorean. And the thing is, it would actually have to have a functioning door.
Functioning gull-wing door.
functioning door, and the funny thing is, it should have it where all the lights do something. And the funny thing is, all those switches should be for streaming purposes.
Yes. Basically have a screen that built in.
I would fucking love that. Oh, I'm crying right now. I want it now. But
We should put that on Kickstarter.
for only $50,000, have your own gaming setup. That's a DeLorean. But
Hey, it would still be a better investment than Mighty Number 9.
but I have one.
I say this as a $60 Mighty Number 9 backer.
I bought it for like $15. Josh? How much you pay for Mighty Number 9?
I think about that much, yeah.
Guess how much I
It's about
paid?
60. How much?
Like $15, and I got like all the DLC.
Yeah, I backed it day one, $60. It took me an extra year after release to get my stuff that I was supposed to get for backing it on Kickstarter.
Oh man.
I'm sorry for the people that got the wrong size boxes.
Yes, I'm one of the people that got the wrong size boxes, so they sent me the correct size box later. Well, no, it's not the boxes that were the wrong size, it's the manuals that were the wrong size.
Yeah, the manuals, yeah. That's right.
Also, it turns out that the Japanese, when they said, "Do you want a Japanese style box and manual?" that meant, "Do you want the manual to be in English or Japanese?"
Yeah, that was stupid.
Because my manual, which this is the best way I have of understanding how to play the game. I've beaten it. I still don't understand half the mechanics.
I'm a witness to that. You did it on stream.
I've beaten it twice, and I still don't understand how you fucking do half the shit in that game. But my manual is entirely in Japanese. Also, full color manual. It's not black and white, it's blue and white.
Ooh. Alright, this is my last question about GameStop, but a lot of people are saying anywhere from summer to the next 5 years, they're gone. What are your thoughts on that?
Honestly, GameStop doesn't really serve much of a purpose anymore outside of, store exclusive pre-order content.
Oh, like the Pokemon shit.
Yeah, and fucking Pokemon shit. But
Funko Pops.
yeah.
We got Hot Topic
Well,
for
you
that.
you got Hot Topic, Amazon. There's so many places you can get Funko Pops.
That's true.
But GameStop, it doesn't really serve much of a purpose anymore, which is weird because you used to have so many different game stores around back in the day. You had Funko Land, you had EB Games, you had GameStop, you had Babbage's.
Toy and Game Land, which around my corner, it is gone. It was like a mom and pop store.
Well, I'm talking about chain stores.
I know, but still, I want to give them a shout out, even though they're gone. I found so many great games from there.
I want to give a shout out to Game On Games formerly in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. That's where I played my first Halo tournament. That's where I met a good friend in high school. That's where I really got into retro gaming. That's where I got into Metal Gear because I got all the Metal Gear Solid games there. But it's gone now. Coincidentally, because GameStop showed up there and took away all their customers.
Same thing here.
Press F for respects.
The idea of GameStop going out of business, it's a very real possibility in today's market, where it's just easier to either buy it digitally through your console or to just buy it on Amazon or Walmart's website or Best Buy's website or any retailer's website and just have it delivered to you. And, still get pre-order bonuses because then you don't have to show up at midnight to pick it up.
True.
Well, you don't have to, but still, that's the whole experience they want you to do.
I've done it once before.
I've done it several times in college. I don't recommend it.
It's not that, like, it's just like a 12-hour wait to get it again.
Yeah.
It's like not thrill is gone after the first time.
Yeah, like for me,
But,
I'm sorry to cut off for a quick, but my PS4, it was the Black Ops one. I like how the PS4 looked. I didn't give a shit about Black Ops, but the girl liked it. That's why I also was a terabyte.
but like it's a very real possibility that they could go out of business within a year to a couple years, just with how the market landscape is changing. But it's such a weird idea because they've been a fixture of the gaming scene for such a long time. It's like the end of an era.
Now,
Like the last major retail gaming store. Sorry, what was that?
I was just saying, like, after they go under, it's like up to the mom and pop shops to keep that era alive.
Yeah, you got like GameStop really. In the end, they tried to compete with the mom and pop shops by trying to muscle in on their territory by selling retro games, and they did an even worse job at that than they do at selling modern games.
oh god, you just reminded me. This is video I started watching. This guy got Pokemon Yellow, and they like taped the battery to it instead of soldering the battery.
Oh, I've heard horror stories about
Oh my god,
people buying retro games from GameStop. Like, there's one person who bought like a copy of Chrono Trigger, but someone had swapped out the actual game board inside it for some football game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that shows that GameStop doesn't even test these games before they sell them.
Yeah. Josh, what about you?
Like, I think that, like, it's very real they could go under within, like, the next, like, 2 years. If, like, it's the first indication is, like, that 500 million they just lost. It can't keep losing that much money and expect to stay.
I agree, because as much as I hate to say it, you now have at a lot of malls, you have like this game store, and they have all these tabletop board games from like around the world, and you sit here like, oh my god, this is an amazing place, only for them to get shut down.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see GameStop succeed. Is it going to later on? I doubt it. But a way that they could at least get a couple more years out of it is that if they were to dedicate a small corner to board games. And I'm not talking about the niche type ones. I'm talking about the ones you know you're going to want. Legend of Zelda Monopoly. Super Mario Payday. If they actually, that would be kind of fun. So stuff like that. They already have.
They're trying to diversify.
Yeah, like they're trying to diversify, but I feel they're doing it in the wrong way. Because right now, they're trying to compete with Hot Topic, and you're not going to compete with Hot Topic.
They've basically changed from a dedicated gaming store into a Hot Topic that sells games.
Yeah, and it's like, what's that? That's that other store that's like Hot Topic. Spencer's. Spencer's is the only place that can even come close to touching Hot Topic. And that's because they actually sell personal massagers. I've been in... No, in all seriousness, Spencer's is actually kind of cool. Like, Spencer's and Hot Topic, while they are competition, for some reason, they know how to coexist.
Yeah, you're about to find both in the same mall.
Oh yeah, Menlo Park Mall, for example, which is in Edison, New Jersey.
Concord Mills. Last time I checked, they were both still there.
Now,
meanwhile at the University Place Mall in Chapel Hill, GameStop closed down a few years ago. You wanna know what it got replaced by? I shit you not.
Spirit of Halloween?
No, worse.
What?
Radio Shack.
Oh god. When a corpse tried to take over
in Canada are gone. They're all gone.
Dude. When a corpse tries to
there is
live
still
off a corpse,
an open Radio Shack near my neighborhood.
Seriously, I'm gonna
One
every
radio shack
time.
near my neighborhood that is still open, and they are desperately trying to get rid of all their stock. They've been open for like all 5 years that I've lived here.
I'm gonna keep saying it. When a corpse tries to live off a corpse. This is a literal zombie apocalypse when it comes to retail. Oh, all right. I know we're all laughing, we're a little happy, but I do have a topic that I might get a little emotional with. I know Haseo, you're not too familiar with Gundam. Josh, what about you?
I like Gundam. Yeah.
My only experience with Gundam is SD Gundam.
We don't talk about that.
The bastard child of the Gundam series.
Yeah, which is actually still ongoing.
Which, you know what? It could have been worse. We could have gotten doozy bots. That was almost a thing.
Oh God, no.
We almost got doozy bots. We got SD Gundam instead, like 10 years later. It still wasn't as bad as doozy bots would have been.
Oh yeah. Josh, so I'm pretty sure you heard about what happened to Yu Yamamoto.
I haven't actually. I was gonna ask you. You mentioned it last time on stream, but I didn't get a chance to ask you.
Yeah. His birth name was Masaru Yamamoto. He recently passed away actually on November 25th at the age of 74. He was basically one of the fathers of the Gundam series. He was the OG writer of the 11 episodes of the OG Gundam series from 1979 to 1980. And not only that, but also the trilogy movie. Something that a lot of people don't realize, he's worked on so much. Over 70 animes. For example, let me see, what was it? It was another trilogy that he worked on called the Galaxy Cyclone Breaker, Galactic Gale Braxinger, Galactic Whirlwind Sesurager. Basically, Inoki Films got the license for them and called them Cosmo Ranger, Cosmo Runner, and Wonder 6, which, if you think about it, they all scream 80s. So fucking hard. But, he also did some novels under the alias Amamiya Koichiro, excuse me. And Haseo, something that might interest you. He's actually worked on theme parks, jigs, musicals, and stage plays, among other things.
Wow.
Yeah, what I'll try and do is I'll see if I can bring that up for you later, because I would love to sit there and watch a few with you, if you don't mind. Maybe we can also get Josh into it.
I'm looking up his profile on Anime News Network to see all the anime series and movies and OVAs that he's worked on. He worked on Urusei Yatsura.
Mm-hmm.
For series composition for episodes 1 through 10, 20, and 30, and script for episodes 4 and 5. So good amount of the series.
Exactly.
Urusei Yatsura, for those of you that don't know, is the first anime series based on the first manga from Rumiko Takahashi, later known for series like Maison Ikoku, Ranma 1/2, and Inuyasha.
So yeah, you could argue Yamamoto is one of the not founding fathers of anime, but a father of anime. He is one of them.
Yeah, I wouldn't say one of the founding fathers of anime, because anime really got its start back in the 60s.
Yeah.
But the 80s is where it started to take its turn towards the more modern style of like action focus.
Yeah, and you could argue, like I said,
where it started to shift from, slice of life comedy to a lot more serious, dramatic storylines.
Yeah.
And he was a key figure in that with Mobile Suit
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I know this is kind of a shameless plug-in, but this March, I remember how I was gonna do. You don't know about this, Josh, but Haseo knows. I was gonna kind of switch in and out March for either Mecha March or Magical March. I'm going to change it around for March being Mecha March and September being Spellbinding September, dealing magical stuff. But and I hope both of you will actually be interested in this. But for Mecha March, I would like to actually have that month of content Gundam related in honor of Yamamoto, and I would like to know if both of you would be interested in that.
I would definitely be interested in that.
All right, thank you. Yeah, because I'll be honest, when I was looking this stuff up, I was almost in tears. Now, still sticking with my childhood. I know. Haseo, explain your experience with Final Fantasy and Square Enix as a whole.
I my technical first introduction to Final Fantasy was through the demo of Final Fantasy VIII that came with Brave Fencer Musashi. But what got me interested in Final Fantasy characters was Kingdom Hearts.
Same, yeah.
Definitely. I checked out Final Fantasy X after that because, this was PS2 era, and Blockbuster wasn't carrying PS1 games, so it's not like I could rent Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
And this was back in the era before PlayStation emulation reached the point that it's at now, and before computers were as powerful as they are now. So it's not like I could emulate it very easily.
Yeah.
Or at least not without buying Bleem. And even then with Bleem, you had to have the original disc. I've played I played part of Final Fantasy VII. I've played part of Final Fantasy X. That Brave Fencer Musashi demo of 8. The first game I played actually that wasn't a demo was actually 10-2.
Oh God.
Just because that was the most recent at the time. It was the one getting all the magazine coverage.
Poor Haseo.
Yeah.
Oof.
I used to religiously play 14. I haven't played that in a while.
Oh yeah, we should.
I played 15. I've got mixed thoughts on that one.
Yeah, I have all the DLC, and I haven't played any of the DLC. I've got the season pass. I've got that last besides episode Arton, the one that happened before that. I got that on sale. I'm going to pick up episode Arton. I think I'm going to do a 100% stream of the entire game and its DLC.
And I also have played like over half of the DS remake of Final Fantasy III, and I have the only Final Fantasy game I've actually beaten, debatable whether you count it as a Final Fantasy game, is Dirge of Cerberus.
It's technically, yeah.
Yeah, it's part of the myth.
Yeah, I got that just because you played as my boy Vincent. Well, I rented it just because you played as my boy Vincent. I didn't actually buy it, thankfully. That game's a piece of shit.
So, Josh, what's your experience with Final Fantasy and Square as a whole?
Yeah, similar to Haseo, my first real experience was with Kingdom Hearts. I really fell in love with that game when it came out. It came at a special time in my life where I could just dedicate all my time to it. Just I burned through the game as fast as I could.
Nice.
And I kind of learned about the might and majesty of Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VIII, 9. I didn't know much about Final Fantasy before that game, but then after I've sort of gone back here and there and played some of the games, I played Final Fantasy X. That was a lot of fun. I really liked the sphere system in that game.
Oh yeah, that to me, that was one of the best leveling systems.
Yeah, it was really cool. Like being able to just branch out and like choose what abilities, which path you wanted to take. That was neat. I was gonna ask you guys. I was thinking of picking up the Royal Edition of 15. You think I should pick it up?
Wait for it to go on sale.
Yeah.
Yeah, like here's the thing. I played it when it first came out. It's a completely different game. If you really want my opinion, let me do my 100% playthrough of it first, because it's one of those games that's really quick to platinum. Like, I just need to do the fishing and cooking, and I basically platinum the main game. That's it.
I haven't played it since launch because, like, I got like halfway through at launch, and it just gradually left more and more of a sour taste in my mouth.
Yeah, the beginning is brilliant.
The beginning's brilliant, but as it goes on, like, more and more issues just kept cropping up. Part of this was due to the fact that it was obviously rushed out for its last deadline, so they wouldn't have to delay it again.
I wish it was delayed again, honestly.
It should have been delayed again because some of the patches they added included whole new gameplay sections and cutscenes.
Yeah, episode Ignis. Plot holes as well. I won't say what they are, but
near the end it gets a little weird.
The game at launch versus what it is now, the Royal Edition, it's basically two completely separate games.
Yeah. So you both already know.
It's not so much a Game of the Year edition as it is like what it should have been at launch.
Yeah. So this whole fiasco with, I keep saying fiasco.
He said the secret word.
But this whole issue with this whole issue though with Final Fantasy 15, Hajime Tabata, one of the lead directors of Square Enix, and he was also the head of Luminous Productions in the Believing. There is a lot of videos from like Final Fantasy Peasant, Night Sky Prince, I think Final Fantasy Union. If so, I didn't get a chance to see it, or they may have deleted their video. But while they were critical of Final Fantasy 15, even I was critical of Final Fantasy 15. We could give it praise where it deserved it, and bash it when it needed to get bashed in the head, because to me, a true fan, you take your game good with the bad, and if there's something not right with it, something that's wrong with it, you do need to be vocal about it in a respectful manner, right or wrong.
Right. Also, just going to throw this out there, Luna Freya, more like
trash.
Ow! That scared the crap out of me. But a lot of people, okay, speaking of Luna Freya, a lot of people wanted the main character we were supposed to get, who was, her backstory was, yes, she was, I think, lovers with Noctis, but had to kill him for some reason. Which would have been an interesting story and character development.
The original concept for Versus 13. I really felt with that whole concept.
Oh, Stella, her name.
For Versus 13 had a much more interesting story than the story we ended up getting in 15. Because 15, the problem with 15 is that, in order to get the entire story, not only do you need to play through the Royal Edition with all of its patched in cutscenes and gameplay sections and all the DLC, you also have to watch the Kingsglaive movie and the Brotherhood anime series, all of that just to get a somewhat proper understanding of this world and its characters. If you just go into it just the game without touching any of that other stuff like I did, you're going to find everything to be incredibly shallow and lifeless.
Let me add two things to that. I still haven't seen the Kingsglaive movie, but there's also something you need to also play, that's considered non-canon but has canon topics in it. The Kingsglaive game, the beat 'em up.
Yeah, the Kingsglaive beat 'em up game.
It had, as well as not canon, it does shed a lot of light in the actual franchise, which is like,
it's like they were more focused on trying to spring a multimedia franchise out of Final Fantasy 15 than they were trying to tell one coherent story in a self-contained package.
yeah. And the thing about this is, Tabata is getting a lot of blame for this, right?
That's not his fault, though.
I
doubt
agree.
he had any control over like all these projects getting launched.
I agree 100%. And it was, I believe it was Final Fantasy Peasant I was watching, and there were, it was either, I think it was him. He was almost in tears at some parts, right?
Yeah.
He strongly believes, even I strongly believe, that it was the higher ups, and I don't really want to say it was Nomura, but Nomura kind of had a play into this because of how
Like
they.
Nomura stepped down from the director's chair so he could work on Kingdom Hearts 3, which he should have been doing from the beginning.
Exactly.
Because he finally realized, hey, the fact that this game's been in development hell for 10 years is stalling development of Kingdom Hearts 3. Maybe I should get to work on that.
The thing.
Plus, they made him work on a whole bunch of other titles too. Now he's working on 7.
Yeah, but he's not really there for 7. Like, he's there in name, but not there right now. It's, someone else has it.
Like, he's attached to it in name only. He's not actually involved in development like he is with Kingdom Hearts 3.
Thank God, because he has no air of Final Fantasy 7 characters.
Yeah, if Kingdom Hearts is anything to go by, he does not understand anything about Final Fantasy 7, a game he worked on.
As a monster creator, I believe, correct?
As a character designer, not a monster creator, but as a character designer as a whole.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, he did the character designs for everyone. He started out as a monster designer for previous games.
Yeah, I remember he did numbers. I think he did 4, 5, and 6, and
yeah, he did 4, 5, and 6, but he broke through as a character designer.
I do want to say
7.
I do want to say those designs were brilliant, by the way.
Yeah.
The thing is,
Yeah, they were good.
The thing about Nomura, right? He's too ambitious. Tabata, like, if it's him and Tabata working together, where they have equal say, where Tabata can basically bring him more down to an Earth level field, that would have been like a match made in heaven, really. But because of the higher ups, like, let me see. I actually wrote it here in my notes. Final Fantasy Type 0, right? That was basically mainly Tabata works. And he pushed it out because it was during that tsunami earthquake combo that hit Japan in March, right? And he wanted to bring it out to bring joy to the people who were having a very rough time. And that's the thing about Tabata. He's very happy-go-lucky. He doesn't complain. And a lot of people now are believing that, in combination with the higher ups saying, oh yeah, you can't do your own thing, because he wanted the Type 0 series to be his own series, basically. Which I would have loved. I have it. I do want to play it really bad. Like, I have the gist of the story, but I want to experience the story. But it always feels like Tabata had to do with the higher ups. He had to work with all these collaborations. He had to constantly kind of clean up Nomura's messes, when if Tabata was there to begin with to kind of ground him, we really wouldn't have some of the issues. Like, some of the stuff he worked on, and I know you're going to love this one. Monster Rancher 2, he was the event director.
Fucking Monster Rancher.
That's a series that needs to come back.
That was my first anime.
Before Crisis.
That's a name I haven't heard in a long, long time.
Josh, when I get the DVD, me and you are going to do a review on that one, because I have a lot of projects in mind with Haseo. I need some projects with you. But Before Crisis, event director, Last Order director, Crisis Core, the anime. Special thanks, Kingdom Hearts Recoded. Recoded. Co-director, which we know he had no say in that at all.
Yeah. If I may throw this out there, my thoughts on Nomura as a whole.
Yeah.
When someone reins him in, he creates absolute works of brilliance. Like the early Kingdom Hearts games. Those were not solely his creations.
Yeah.
Those were a collaborative effort. But when they just let him loose and surround him with yes men that are too afraid to tell him that his ideas are bad, he just throws shit at the wall, sees what sticks, and keeps in what doesn't stick too. And we get stuff like Kingdom Hearts Recoded, which, fun fact, he has admitted in an interview that he came up with the story for that game while drunk.
And it shows. But yeah.
That explains why the whole game is basically a retread of Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. Because, we haven't gone over the plot of Kingdom Hearts 1 enough already.
You sounded completely different. dude, one day you have to do. Oh my god, dude! When I have the money, I will give you a literal $100 if you did a solo podcast for 1 hour live in that voice.
If I can find that voice again, sure.
Yeah, when I upload. But I do want to move away. You did it once, you can do it again. Now, Haseo wanted to talk about this topic because this is something he's very passionate about. It's one of his favorite franchises, and it's the Mega Man series. And it was it's from the September 10th was Mega Man's 30th anniversary, and
I think it might have actually been the 12th. Let me check.
Yeah, but because I know it's something he is super passionate about, I have one question I want to ask Josh, and then I'm going to let Haseo just gush. So, Josh, what is your experience with the Mega Man franchise?
December 17th.
Oh, December 17th.
December 17th is the anniversary, so we're still a bit early on it.
All right, so yeah, he's still a year older than me. So, Josh, what is your experience with the Mega Man franchise?
Okay, I am very, very bad at games. Let's just put it out there. Like, to me, they're really.
You are not the only one who's bad at them, dude.
Josh, you're among friends. Like, I can get toward the end of Mega Man 1 and 4, but at the final boss, Sigma kicks my ass every time. Like, I had to bump the Legacy Collection down to easy mode, the Rookie Hunter mode, just to beat them.
Yeah, that's like pretty well what I had to do as well. I have to like bump it down to easy mode to play it. But I think like Mega Man 2 and 3 in particular, the originals, they're works of art. Like the music in 2 is just so good. It's one of those like game soundtracks where you can listen to everything just back to back and everything's good.
Oh, especially the OC
like,
remix.
X is just as good too. Yeah.
Yeah, like we already know I'm gonna let you take the reins on this soon, Haseo. But for me, like, I know a lot of people say, "Oh, the music from Mega Man 2 is overhyped." I'm like, no, there is no such thing. Oh God, there is no such thing as overhyped when you're talking about Mega Man 2 soundtrack. Now, yeah, for me personally, my favorite Mega Man games are X1, X4, and Legends 2. My main thing is I love the music and X1 and X4 out of the entire franchise. Those are my two favorites. My two all-time favorite. Storm Owl for the win. And
have you guys ever played the Battle Network games?
I played my friend's version of it. I don't own it or played it that way. Beyond
I've only played the 6th one. Falzar version.
Yeah.
Oh, and I've played the first level of Network Transmission because fuck that game.
oh. Also, Super Fighting Robot, Mega Man.
Got that.
Yeah, so now I'm gonna let you take the reins because this is all you, buddy.
My introduction to Mega Man was actually through reruns of the Ruby Spears cartoon from the 90s. You know, the one that the Super Fighting Robot theme comes from? Reruns, I specifically remember it was on Fox Family on their Made in Japan block. I would watch it with my friend, who's also sometimes a co-commentator on my streams, miles above. We would watch it together, and I had no idea that it was a game franchise at first. Then I go to EB Games for the first time when one opened in my near my neighborhood, and I looked in the store. I'm like, "Oh my god, there are Mega Man video games!" So I get Mega Man. I get Mega Man 8, and I get Mega Man Legends, same day. Because all I had at the time was a PS1 and a Game Boy Color. Legends, I have more. Legends is my favorite series out of the entire Mega Man franchise. X is my second favorite. I haven't touched Zero yet because I just don't have any of the games. I've played a bit of ZX and I like it. Battle Network, I've only played the 6th game, but I did like what I played. Except for Network Transmission, like I said, that game can go fuck itself in the ass!
What about that racing game, that kart racer?
The kart racer was never released in North America until the X Collection, which I didn't unlock that.
Same here. I'm that bad.
What's in the X collection?
Yeah, the
not the
PS2.
Legacy Collection, but the PS2 and GameCube X Collection.
Oh, yeah, the anniversary one?
Yeah, for the X series. The one that includes 1 through 6.
Yeah,
inferior versions of 1 through 6 compared to the Legacy Collection, I'll say. Because it includes the PS1 version of X3 and X6 due to reasons I will never understand is lacking any voice acting. So the cutscenes that would normally have voice acting are just dead silent.
That's weird.
Whereas in the PS1 version and in the Legacy Collection, they're in Japanese. But I've just got such a passion for Mega Man. It makes me... You have no idea how happy I am that Mega Man 11 is a thing.
Yeah,
How heartbroken I was when Mega Man Legends 3 was canceled, especially. Because Legends is my favorite of the Mega Man sub-series. And we were so close to finally getting a conclusion to it. And then, you know, Capcom'd it.
Yep. Lost their main man.
Yeah. Who, I think it's probably for the best that he's gone. Because if you look at, like, records of what was going on at the company at that time, a lot of the bad stuff that was going on at Capcom, like licensing out their properties to really bad Western developers, was the result of Keiji Inafune telling the higher-ups at Capcom, you need to appeal more to a Western demographic because the Japanese games industry is dead.
Which is stupid.
Yeah, it was a weird time. They kept pumping out titles like Lost Planet and like Dead Rising, even though that's like kind of that one's okay, but like the other ones are weird choices.
Like if anything, they should have some sample size games. If anything, if they really wanted to see how to quote unquote cater to the Western market.
And to be honest, like here's best case scenario. Keiji Inafune said that he left because he didn't like the corporate politics of Capcom. he probably would have been better off staying at Capcom, considering he's a joke in the industry now, and his company went under and got bought out by Level 5 after Mighty Number 9 flopped hard.
Mm-hmm.
We never got Red Ash.
We never got Red Ash. It's still not officially canceled. Concept is not responding to anyone on Twitter or Facebook or emails or Kickstarter. The anime came out. It was only a 1-episode thing. It was only screened at a Japanese film festival and emailed to backers, but the game is still not officially canceled yet. Even though there's been no updates on it since that disastrous alpha that came out.
I do. Also, I kind of want to give you a shout out, Haseo. If anyone who's interested in some pretty epic Mega Man tomfoolery, check out his YouTube and check out. I think it's still in your video on demand. I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, check it out. It will be in the description for both their YouTube channels for one, and both their Twitch channels. But yeah, this one is just
all the X stuff isn't on my video on demand anymore, but the first Legend stream is.
I think they're also on YouTube too, I believe, correct?
Yeah, all of my streams get archived on YouTube.
So yeah, guys, watch it, laugh, see how he struggled and conquered Sigma and Mega Man 2, X2.
Mega Man X2. Fuck struggled and conquered X2. I struggled getting conquered X6 and X7.
And now, I want to talk about the topic that basically, well, besides the whole Jason Schreier thing, because that was something me and Josh wanted to do beforehand, but this is another reason that Josh me and Josh, we all got together on this. Well, Haseo didn't see too much about this one, kind of fell through, but I already walked him through how we're going to take care of this. The 2018 Video Game Awards. Now, Josh, what was your overall thought of the presentation?
So far, I think the best one they've put out, especially like compared to like the last 2 years.
Oh, last year is.
This one was. Other than like those like cringe moments, those were like good standouts from like the last years. But I think like this one is like the best one they've put out. So
I would have to say, not well compared to last year, yeah, because the whole shit with Konami. Hashtag fuck Konami. Don't let that tag die. I don't know. I've like previous years because my main thing about it, and it's when we actually start going into parts we liked and disliked. For one, it felt like it dragged on way too long. I felt like there were too many commercials for something that was supposed to be live streamed.
One thing that annoyed me was some commercials repeated twice.
Exactly.
Especially towards the end.
Something else that annoyed me was let me see. I actually wrote it down here. This is actually, while I did feel like it was too long and everything, this is actually a knock for the very first award that was given, and it was for best student game, basically, right? They showed all these other games, but they couldn't show small clips of their games, and I felt like, as someone who was technically a music student, even though I had to stop doing music classes at work, I'm still technically a student. I felt that they were overshadowed, basically, and it felt like it was part of the pre-show, and that was a little disappointing for me because I love to see new developers basically kind of get in the limelight, and that would have been a beautiful way to kind of actually have them go on stage and not be a pre-show type thing. That 17 minutes was ugh. I mean, yeah, we had some game reveals, but the world exclusives. My main thing about that, more than, you could argue 75% to 85% were just cinematic trailers or teasers, and it's like, okay, what, why is, don't even show me this. I want to see more of it, to know more about it. Otherwise, I have no thought process of it. I don't care about it now. I have so many questions that make me kind of want to avoid it now. Like,
That's
I
true. It's not like E3 where they show vertical slices of the games. It's like very short teaser trailers instead.
yeah, I'm not knocking short trailers or anything. It's like, hype us up for it. Don't just like, hey, yeah, this is a cute character. He's smiling. Done. That was it was. But I figured for this part the uh, of the podcast, I will go through the topics, mention the nominees and who won, and we discuss that. So
I'm interested to hear your picks, guys. Let's see what you guys thought,
yeah,
especially for Game of the Year.
oh yeah, I have my own thing on that. So for best narrative, nominees were Detroit Become Human, God of War, Life is Strange 2 Episode 1, Marvel Spider-Man, and Red Dead Redemption 2, who actually ended up winning that. Me personally, for best narrative, I would honestly, if between Red Dead Redemption and God of War, they had the strongest in my opinion, because Detroit Become Human. It felt like it had too many plot holes in my personal opinion, and that some of those plot holes contradict the story here and there. So for me personally, it just wasn't a pick.
I can't help but laugh internally at the idea of a David Cage game being nominated for best narrative in anything. Like, I say this as a guy who's a fan of Heavy Rain and Indigo Prophecy.
Jason!
Jason! To the point that I cosplayed as a guy, one of the characters from Heavy Rain. I cosplayed as the FBI agent Norman Jade in FBI, searching for the origami killer. But he cannot tell a good story. He has good production values, but he cannot tell a good story.
What about you, Josh? What is your thoughts on the best narrative?
It was definitely that got it for me. Like just the things they did to alter the Ultimate Universe in Spider-Man, like was just like they took a little bit from the story, a little bit from the recent stories that are going on in the comics, and then they put their own stuff in. So like I think like they did a great job.
They did do a great job.
I've got to give it to. As far as my pick, I haven't played Red Dead Redemption 2 just because I'm not a big fan of Rockstar games. I couldn't get into God of War, so I didn't get to see much of that plot.
Boy.
But Spider-Man, that blew me away.
Yeah, I just want to make some.
I did not expect to get so emotionally invested in a fucking Spider-Man game.
Yeah, I just want to mention one thing. Me personally, I don't own these games, but I've seen a lot of people like live stream and YouTube and such. So I'm just saying this out there. While seeing their gameplay, you think they would influence someone's decision. Not so much me, because I've seen people who hated it, people who loved it, saw both their points and came to my own, basically way before hearing their own, like, oh, I hate it. I have my own thoughts already for that type of stuff. And it's going to be said about quite a few things here, though. Now, for best... Oh, sorry.
I wanted to throw in one more thing. I think it's kind of cheating to include the first episode of an episodic game in a Game of the Year awards, because it's only the first episode of one game.
Maybe put in Celeste instead of Life is Strange?
Yeah, they should have
Yeah, because it's not... Episodic games, you're not buying 5 games. You're buying one game released in parts.
Yeah. That's actually...
Yeah, unless it's complete, like, it shouldn't be on.
Yeah.
Like, if they were, let's say, like, okay, all the parts are out, and then they released it
If
as
all the parts were out, then yeah, I would say that would justify being on there.
yeah. It's not this year,
Life is
next
Strange
year.
2 as a whole, but not episode 1.
Yeah, as soon as it's finished, yeah, I see your point. Because if it's finished, I could definitely see it like winning. The next topic was best performance, and it was Melithani Manut Mahat. No, I'm butchering her name. I'm very sorry.
I think it's Melisanthe Mahut.
Thank you.
I think that's her name.
Yeah, in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Brian Dechart in Detroit Become Human, Christopher Judge in God of War, and Haseo, one of your favorites,
Yuri Lowenthal.
Yes, and then we also have Roger Clark.
Roger Clark.
Yeah. Now, for me, I just kept saying, "Oh, hi, Sasuke."
Anyone who's seen my streams or my Let's Plays or whatever knows that I have kind of a beef with Yuri Lowenthal because he uses the Sasuke voice for fucking everything that doesn't require putting on an accent, because I will admit he's fantastic at accents.
Well, wasn't he in Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time?
Yes, that's one where he put on an accent.
Oh, he was the knight, I think, right?
Yes, he was the knight.
I love that one.
But he owned the role. He owned the role of Peter Parker.
Yeah, I saw that. It was really good.
Like, my problem with Yuri Lowenthal is that, like, it's not so much, like, part of it is the lack of range, but, you know, there are voice actors I like that don't have a huge range, like Steve Blum. Like, if you listen to Steve Blum, 9 times out of 10, he's doing Spike Spiegel.
Yeah, which is, it's a perfect voice.
But,
that
Yellow Monkey, yes! Here I come! Ninja attack!
For those that don't know, I will. I'm going to have to put up my PS4 and bring it up. I mean PS2, but
yeah, PS2 because he was only Yellow Monkey in Ape Escape 3.
Yeah.
But anyways, Yuri Lowenthal, like, he also tends to be either too one note and like play it up as too emo or under emotional, or he either doesn't go far enough or goes too overboard with it.
Just give him fun characters, and we will see the best shit from him.
And that's what we got with Peter Parker. He struck a perfect balance. He could sound serious when he needed to sound serious. He could sound heartbroken when bad things happened to him that rocked his world. He could sound upbeat and happy when things were going his way. I legit did not recognize this as Yuri Lowenthal at first, just because even though it was just Yuri Lowenthal doing his regular voice, the performance itself, how he carried himself, was so different from anything else he's ever played that it sounded like a completely different person.
So let me ask you this, Haseo. Would you say top 3 best Spider-Man?
Okay, not counting live action performances because that's a whole other category, this would be my favorite Spider-Man out of all of them.
Okay, including
he is a perfect Peter Parker and a perfect Spider-Man.
Hold on, okay.
Yeah, he's not like number 1. I forget the performer's name from Spectacular Spider-Man.
Oh, that was fuck, I need to look that up now.
Okay, well, let me ask you guys this: what about Japanese Spider-Man?
Spider-Man. No, that's not Spider-Man. That is Spider-Man.
With his giant fucking Mets. I fucking love Sentai Spider-Man.
That's not Peter Parker though. That is a separate character.
Still Spider-Man. I didn't say Peter
It's
Parker.
It's a separate Spider-Man.
That's what I was talking about. Spider-Man.
Josh Keaton was the voice of Spider-Man from Spectacular Spider-Man. Like, I mistook that for Josh Keaton at first because it sounds so much like him with how he carries himself as Peter Parker.
All right, now let me bring in mine. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, to me, I fell off the Assassin's Creed fan. Well, I wasn't that much of a fan. I played a game here and there. It was something with a time killer for me. Militani's performance was brilliant, but Roger Clark gave me chills. Literal chills when I heard it. Like, I'm just gonna flat out say, like, the only person I was not a fan of was Brian. Everyone else on this list, any of those people could have won. I would have been content because they all gave magnificent, brilliant performances.
And with Brian, I don't think that's a problem with like him being a bad actor.
It was direction.
It's just it's another problem with David Cage. He focuses so much on the technical aspect of making everything look as lifelike as possible, but then he fucks up on actually directing his actors so everyone sounds wooden. Or in this case, they sound more robotic than the robots.
Yeah, for a guy that wants his games to be like interactive movies, he bugs it on the characters a lot.
Yeah, like you have these wonderful worlds, wonderful, interesting stories, but when it comes to the character to deliver that story, it's like you have these Play-Doh and Lego characters, and then you have this Bluco block knockoff.
Yeah.
So the next,
it's not even a Duplo block. It's like, what's that fucking brand that Ashens looked at an advent calendar of? Best block.
Yes. Basically,
the one with wafer faced Rudolph and robot Rudolph and robot Santa.
You're going to have to find me pictures of this one later.
Yes, I will find those for you.
Just so we can have this in the editing. So when Josh sees this, he pauses and starts crying in laughter.
Now I'm super intrigued.
And yet somehow that brand is the only one that's gotten rights to make sets based on Terminator.
Oh God! I forgot. So, the next one, Best Music / Score. So the nominees were Celeste, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom, Octopath Traveler, and Red Dead Redemption 2, who, surprise, surprise, won. Now,
I think when you said Red Dead Redemption 2, I think you might have mispronounced it. I think you mean Rootin' Tootin' Cowboy Shootin' 2.
If I ever, because the thing is, I want to do Red Dead Revolver, Red Dead Redemption, and Red Dead Redemption 2 as like a full-on stream, right?
You're gonna call them Rootin' Tootin' Cowboy Shootin'?
Yes! I'm about to start crying, laughing at that. Alright, so as someone who is a musical student, I'm still technically a student. When it came to God of War, Ni no Kuni, and Spider-Man, when it came to a lot of the music they actually showed, a lot of it came off as these big giant epics, and I love that. I'm a fan of epics like that, you know. But something that kind of caught me off guard, because I didn't hear Octopath Traveler until it got nominated, and I gave it a listen. Some of the tracks kind of have a Final Fantasy feel. Not the mainline games, though. It had a Crystal Chronicles vibe to it. And that really caught me off guard because I wasn't expecting a game to be nominated that even had that type of feeling to it. But I think Red Dead Redemption was something my grandfather would actually sit down and just listen to. My grandfather. That's not easy to do. Have you guys heard any of their soundtracks or anything?
No, I have not.
What about
unfortunately I haven't either.
Alright, so I guess I'm the only one. Like, I heard bits of them. I haven't heard their full
Well,
OSTs.
I've obviously heard Spider-Man soundtrack because I've beaten it. About Spider-Man soundtrack, I've got to say, fantastic score, but 0 out of 10 because it didn't include the pizza theme from Spider-Man 2.
Oh, hold on. I'm going on my phone real quick. Hold on.
Boy, he gonna do it.
And
yeah, oh man, the pizza thing.
yeah, actually, hold on. See, pizza theme, bass boost.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, this is gonna
And I
be
gotta add. I'm just gonna play it on my phone. I'm gonna actually clip over for all the people so they can get a good laugh out of that. Oh God! You know the funny thing is they really should have had that, but have it.
The theme from Spider-Man 2 is a perfect storm of shit music. Because one, it's a shit song in the middle of a game that has an otherwise fantastic soundtrack. Two, it's the only song in the entire game that doesn't use an actual orchestra and instead uses MIDI instruments. And three, it's boosted so much that it clips all the time and sounds horrible.
They should have had that as an Easter egg. Because they did play homages here and there to what we get, like you said before, of some of the cartoons, some of the movies, some of the other games.
The entire, 50-year history of Spider-Man.
Yes, and if you ask me, that's something that would have had people crying. That we would have seen Marvel Spider-Man pizza themed Easter egg reaction videos, and those would have been trending.
Stole that guy's pizza. The only thing that would make that even better would be, oh no, Dr. Connor's class. I got so caught up in what I was doing, I forgot all about it. He's gonna kill me.
Oh man. One of the scenes. Okay, it's funny you mentioned that scene. There was a scene I saw. That was with the whatchamacallit area. The rec center, and they were basically giving a cake to that. Like I said, I haven't really played too much Spider-Man. That scene almost brought me to tears with the performance. I love that. Yeah. Okay, so the next one was Content Creator of the Year.
Oh God.
100 points to Gryffindor if you can guess who wasn't in it.
JonTron.
Or PewDiePie.
JonTron, because he didn't create any fucking content until last week.
Yeah. But here's the thing, most of these people were mainly Twitch streamers, but they,
And they were all Fortnite players.
Yeah, that's actually one of my side notes.
Hooray for diversity! They all played the same damn game.
Yeah, it was Dr. Lupo, Myth, Ninja, which we already know who he won, Pokimane, which I believe was in the was in the Dragon Ball Fighters tournament. That was when the game dropped. Don't quote me on that. I'm not too sure. And Willie Rex.
I've never heard of any of these people except for Ninja.
I think I've heard Pokimane, but I think it was like a Twitch drama thing. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, she got famous because like she usually wears makeup, and then one day she didn't wear makeup on stream, and that became a big thing. It's like,
that's
okay.
Okay, that's stupid.
I've heard worse things that female Twitch streamers have gotten into drama about, but that's a story for another time.
Yeah. You're shaking.
She's no Zoe Berger or anything like that, where like she's like shaking her ass on camera.
Yeah.
Or Amaranth saying that she's single when she's actually married.
Yeah. Speaking of Zoe Berger, The Right Opinion did a piece on her.
Yeah, The Right Opinion. I've been watching him a lot lately.
Yeah, same here.
That was really good.
Oh, so
that guy's killing it right now. He's doing a good job.
Who, Right Opinion?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you get a chance, there's an hour-long video about, it was Rags who, because of this video, I personally stopped watching. And, what's the other, I Hate Everything. You remember he did this response video?
Yeah, the thing about Rags responding to I Hate Everything's video about, The Last Jedi.
Yeah, and the thing was, he would have to sit down and watch a whole bunch of his videos to understand I Hate Everything's humor, his video process. And for the perfect unbiased video that The Right Opinion did was marvelous. Like, yeah, there are parts I disagreed with Alex, but I mainly just found myself saying, okay, Rags, you're just mainly attacking him for an opinion.
Yeah, I'm someone that did not like The Last Jedi. But even as someone that didn't like The Last Jedi, Rags was just being a twat about it. He was basically saying, I don't like this thing, so no one's allowed to like it.
Yeah. And like I do want to watch it. And I do want to kind of do what Alex did and see it at least 2 times. At least 2. So this way I can better formulate an opinion of it. Have my initial thought, and then my final thought. I will admit I do want to do that. Josh, do you have anything else you want to add for the content creators?
I picked Dr. Lupo actually. Like I'm familiar with like the Fortnite like I guess the Fortnite crew, if you can sort of say it.
Yeah.
And, like as much as I do kind of like Ninja, it was always like always liked when Ninja teamed up with Dr. Lupo. That made like those streams interesting. Instead of like watching Ninja by himself is kind of boring in my opinion. Watching him team up with his like usual cast of characters is so much better. That's why I kind of like Dr.
I do want to say something about Ninja. I like his blue hair. Cause I don't these guys. Ooh, like I don't watch these creators. They're not for me personally, but at the same time, I do hope for further success for their platforms. You know.
It's a shame that Ninja died of Ligma.
I'm not walking into that. But the next topic was best esports. I kind of skipped over this one. It was basically teams.
There's a lot of esports stuff on
There's
here.
a shit ton.
Esports player, esports team.
Yeah, it was
coach.
I think it was player when they did this one. And
Sonic Fox.
yeah, my whole thing on that one was I don't care if he's gay or a furry. If you have a problem with that, beat him in his own game, get better at the game than he is, and take the reign from him basically in a sense. If you're not willing to just do that and complain about something so stupid, stop. It's just annoying now.
I loved his speech with that like one throwaway joke at the end.
Like, I'm super gay. I'm like, okay, I'm bi, so okay. But I guess yeah, because I don't think either one of us are really into esports.
Nah.
I will say this though, there is a game that me and Haseo admit need to be part of esports.
Dong dong never die.
And Evil did.
You mean
Oh,
Evil Zone?
Evil Zone. Excuse me. Evil Dead was the movie.
Evil Zone, the world's easiest fighting game.
Now, this next one.
Unless you're playing against the computer, in which case it will wreck your shit.
This next one, best independent game. I'm just gonna tell you right now. Two of the games I know nothing of, but I want to play all of these games. Basically, I know of them. Celeste Who Won, which it was alright. It's just a brilliant game. Did Sales, which when it's integrated with Twitch, an equally as brilliant game. Into the Breach, which was a strategy RPG, looked brilliant. Return to Umbra Den looked nice. So yeah, yeah, like I said, all these games I want to play, and The Messenger, which was an old school game that got released this year. Like all of these games for independent game, I want to play all of them. It was like any of these guys could win, and I was happy. Like right now, the two main games from this list I want to personally play is Into the Breach and Celeste and Dead Cell. Oh, that's 3.
Yeah, Dead Cells is a good game.
Yeah, like there was Anthony CSN did a Dead Cells playthrough. We was playing that for a good 2 hours with Twitch chat integrated. Oh, we were trolling him so hard. We were picking the hardest spots for him just to be assholes. And he was such a good sport about it too. Haseo, do you have any knowledge on these?
The only one of these that I've heard of is Dead Cells. I don't keep up with the indie scene.
I feel like it kind of got wrapped in with that whole Philip Mewson controversy.
That's the only reason I've heard of Dead Cells.
Yeah, exactly. That was like
Confirmed
my first
playthrough is Philip Mewson.
Experience with it. Yeah. It's like because of that. For better or for worse, I guess.
Okay, this is actually one. I have an issue with the title, right? Where it says best sport/racing game, and there's only one racing game. So it should just say best sports games because someone like me considered racing a sport, you know? Like some people, you have cards like blackjack and poker. It's not really a sport, but you could argue it's a mental sport, you know?
Yeah.
But before we get into that, they showed Mortal Kombat 11 with some really shitty ass hip hop music, and I like hip hop music, and I was sitting here like, this is so unfitting. Hashite sori yo, kaze nori, katsuki ni nara. No.
Tsukimihara yo.
Padaru.
Padoru.
Basically, I was hoping for the Padaru to come in, like, okay, please let's be a joke and let Padaru play. But they said it was an error, but we already know it was a marketing thing.
There's no way it was an error if it made it to broadcast.
Yeah, not to mention broadcast fully. The fight was amazing, you know, the cinematic trailer.
Yeah.
But the thing about Mortal Kombat, I really miss the old-fashioned 2D ones for the Super Nintendo. You can call me an elitist.
But the thing is, it was impressive for the time, but digitized graphics just don't sell anymore.
I know, but could you imagine if they did like even a mode that just played homaged, like a DLC?
There actually is a game, a Mortal Kombat inspired game.
Oh god, is that one? Is it
Allegedly, that allegedly exists. I say allegedly because no one who has bought it has gotten their copy of it.
Mm.
It's called Death Cargo.
Mm.
That's a whole story I'll get into another time.
Yeah.
But there's gameplay footage of it, and it uses digitized actors, but it's not all pixelated like, the old school Mortal Kombat's was. This was made by an Italian film studio, so everything's HD and looks really crisp.
Mm.
It looks beautiful, but the whole thing's a scam.
Mm.
I feel like we should do like a podcast, or like even if it ends up being like shorter or whatever, of just like Kickstarter projects.
Oh yeah.
Like you guys mentioned the unsub, and like I'm really like interested in seeing
A
like,
whole
if that's
Kickstarter
ever-
scam project, Kickstarter scam podcast. I would love to do that.
Oh yeah, same here. Like there is actually one I do want to give praise to, and I can't remember the name of it, but I think it comes out either next year or the following, and it's supposed to teach you Japanese, and I'm definitely going to be streaming that, a good portion of it.
But anyways, looking at the best sports / racing game.
Hold on, Josh, what are your thoughts on the Mortal Kombat 11 though?
I'm not a huge like Mortal Kombat fan. It looked okay to me.
What about the music?
The music was weird.
Would you?
It was like.
Would you have liked some old fashioned Mortal Kombat? Do 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 do.
Yeah.
The theme that was only in the movies, yet everyone associates with the games.
Yes. Okay, either that or I don't know. Linkin Park, "Crawling in My Skin" would have been a better choice. Because when I think Mortal Kombat, I think rock music, not hip hop.
Like industrial or metal or something
Exactly, like crawling in. I mean, perfect.
Industrial or metal or techno, not fucking hip hop.
I mean, even symphonic or like a symphonic rock would have been really good.
Yeah.
So,
Symphonic death metal would have been perfect for it.
oh fuck yes. Nightwish.
No. Death Clock face fisted.
Oh yes. Yes. All right. We got way off topic. So the nominees were, and for the ones that are, the obvious, I'm gonna get really, really uncomfortably close. Kind of like this. All right. So, FIFA 19, NBA 2K, Pro Evolution Soccer. I spelled it wrong here. 2019, Mario Tennis Aces, which shocked me as a nominee, and the winner, which I actually bought for on sale. That's the only reason I got it, because I'm cheap. I'm a cheap bastard. Forza Horizon 4. Yes, that's the one that won. I'm a big fan of racing, which, the whole GameStop story tells you I'm a fan of racing games already. A very niche audience. And I do, in the future, within the next 5 years, I want to have a $2,000 racing setup, where it's the really, really nice seats with the seat belts that you can buckle from the top part, with the full frame dashboard and frame. I want that. And as Hindsight Hansen would say, I forget the force feedback that it has for that. I forget what they call it. It'll rip your arms off. Any thoughts on the sports stuff?
I'm just glad that
I think,
EA
that was
and
the
Konami
best.
lost.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be honest though, I'm actually happy to see Mario Tennis Aces on there. I'm just happy that it's included. The next one was Best Game Direction. Now, all of these except for one of them are magnificent, in my opinion. A Way Out, Detroit Become Human, God of War, who won, Marvel Spider-Man, and Red Dead. Shootin' Tootin'. I can't.
It's okay, you'll get it eventually.
I can't. I can't.
Rootin' tootin' cowboy shooting too.
And I do want to make one thing clear about when I actually do stream Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm going to wait for it to come on PC just so I can get the mod of the I want that for when you die. Like every time you die, or you basically die in pain. But basically all these games, except for Detroit Become Human, I liked. Like A Way Out was so unique on how it presented itself. I was really hoping. Well, look at me wrong. I love Spider-Man, God of War, and Rootin' Tootin' Shootin' too. A Way Out of all of those games presented itself in the most unique light, and I really felt that should have been the winner.
Yeah, same. I thought it should have been like the winner because like in best game direction, I don't think I've seen too many people try to attempt games
like there's joke posts on Facebook saying, "Hey, yeah, play this game where it's co-op, right? But at the end, you find out your mate is the final boss, and you have to kill them." Like that is kind of the theory behind A Way Out. You need to work together to get through the story, and I fucking love that.
I wouldn't say that God of War had one, from the bits I've seen, had some of the best direction of the year. Not enough to make it the winner.
Yeah.
Especially considering that it recycles bosses like no one's business.
Oof.
Which, that pisses me off because, like, I've played every God of War game except for Ascension. I've even played the one that was only released on Verizon mobile phones.
Oh, God.
One of the defining features of God of War was its killer boss battles. Each one was a spectacle, an event, something amazing. And in this one, it's the same boss repeated like 8 times.
Yeah.
That's anticlimactic.
Yeah, like I have to agree. Like even me, someone who tends to look at the God of War franchise from the outside in, every boss fight is memorable. Every fight.
Like, I just went back and played God of War 3 again, and
The opening, my God.
the opening, starting out with you climbing up Mount Olympus on the back of the Titan Gaia, fighting against the god Poseidon and his Leviathan. God, that was so amazing.
Can we say one of the best openings in gaming history? One of them.
Against them, where it switches between you controlling Kratos and a first-person perspective of Poseidon getting a shit kick of him.
Oh man!
Ending with his eyes getting gouged out.
Topic for Topic for another podcast. Best opening cinematics in a game. Yeah, I think
that's not even cinematic. That's all control.
I know. I was talking about open cinematic and basically best opening in general. That's probably the better way to phrase it.
Like that. I can compare the openings of God of War. I'll just call it God of War 4 for the simplicity of it versus God of War 3. Which I feel like God of War 3 was like the peak of the franchise, in my opinion, as someone that's played almost every game in the series. God of War 3, it starts you out with a boss fight that transitions between multiple areas and ends with a satisfying conclusion.
Yeah, I've played the opening.
God of War 4, it starts you off with something that could have easily been a cutscene, but they just made it controllable so they could say, "Woo, gameplay," but it's interactive storytelling, even though we could have easily made this a cutscene and not wasted your time.
Yeah.
Like, it's interactive storytelling, but it's not really, because what if I don't want to get on the boat? I don't have a choice but to get on the boat.
Yeah. Josh, anything else to add to this, or should we go to the next one?
We can go to the next one. I think like my choice is away for sure.
Yeah, that I think I think a lot of people actually like if they really sat down was like, oh wait, wow, that one A Way Out didn't. Like people who were fans of A Way Out or really played it were probably like somewhat shocked in my opinion in that. But best ongoing game, and this is actually one I do want to give a shout out on. Destiny 2 Forsaken was one of the nominees, and when I typed it, I want to put Forsaken.
More like Destiny 2, for shame.
Overwatch, which I've played, and it is fun. I believe you streamed this one once or twice, Josh. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, which I think it had a little controversy recently. Something with microtransactions, or I don't know what's going on with that. I have to look more into that.
The censoring.
Oh yeah, for China.
Yeah.
Fortnite, which, yeah, we know that was going to win.
Yeah.
And No Man's Sky. And despite the fact that we tease it, the No Man's Sky, No Man's Sea, No Man's Land jokes and all that type of stuff, they've been doing really good. And I really want to kind of shout out Hello Games for not really giving up on what they were working on and delivering on some of the promises. I mean, there's still promises that need to be hit, but the fact that they kept going is highly commendable. It shouldn't have happened to begin with, but the streamer I've been watching play this, right? I believe it's also his Twitter handle as well. If not, I will correct it. But it's called Bear With Us. He's an English speaker, Finnish speaker, and he's really cool. Like we were actually talking about it, how a lot of the stuff, it shouldn't have happened, but they didn't give up. They basically went fighting against the current, put out their game, put out the DLC, and they're still working on it. They're still putting it out, still trying to do the best they possibly can. And yeah, if you guys do want to see a really good No Man's Sky stream, definitely check out Bear With Us. Like I said, anyone and everyone I am mentioning, I will be having links in that description. If anything, I'll see if I can get a little clip of something he has said about the game. Someone sounds like a sleepy boy. Don't worry, we're almost to the end. All we gotta do is we have one more topic, and then some of the stuff that popped out, the exclusive stuff, and we can all go to bed. So, what are you guys' thoughts on the ongoing games?
Commendable for No Man's Sky for what they put out. Like, it's night and day from like what they first put out to what's like out now. Completely different game.
Like, let me ask you this: would you consider even buying it now?
Yeah. After the patch came out, I bought the game.
Oh wow, really? I actually been thinking about buying it. Let me ask you. What do you have it for?
I have it for PS4.
I might pick that up.
Yeah, because the game was about to go up in price because of the patch. I just like went on. I picked it up for that.
Okay. Haseo, what are your thoughts on the best ongoing game?
I've also got to give commendation to No Man's Sky. Any competent developer would not have let their game launch in that kind of state. But a respectable developer would do what Hello Games did and spend the next year, 2 years, however fucking long it was, salvaging it to a point where it resembles what it should have been without charging extra for stuff that should have been in the base game, stuff that was promised in the base game but wasn't there to begin with.
Let me
That's why really have to commend Hello Games for is the fact that they didn't charge an extra cent for any of these updates or DLC or anything. They did this entirely out of wanting to, you know, salvage their image after No Man's Sky blew up in their faces at launch.
Yeah, like
That's something you just don't see anymore.
yeah, that was really good. I didn't even mention that it was like the free DLC. Like yeah, it was really good that they did that. But yeah, like I said before, a YouTuber.
I personally wouldn't buy this just because it's not the kind of game that I'm interested in. But it's a kind of game that I would say at this point it's worth buying if this is your kind of game.
Yeah, 'cause I play Starbound. I like Starbound. I'm not really into survival games, but it is kind of up my alley. You know,
Yeah.
I like I said, I at least been thinking about picking it up, which tells you a lot. And I will be straight up honest. I never picked up the game. I was shitting on it really hard. You already know that.
Yeah.
And for someone who is shitting on that game so hard to come out saying, "Hey, yeah, I'm considering buying this because it looks good now." It's like Josh said, night and day.
Yep. They took everything that everybody wanted from the original game and they added it. Like they put like underwater bases.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the mineral system in the game refined. They actually found a way to put pop and into the game, even though they didn't have it at launch. And like, it's a night and day thing. It's like this is a totally different game. You would call this like No Man's Sky. It's like it's incredible.
All right, and guys, we're at the final nominee topic, and then the last bit, and then we can all go to bed. Which is really bad. Which is really bad for me to be up this late because I got a 12-hour shift tomorrow.
You mean today?
Oh yeah, today. Game of the year. Now I have to say this. Haseo, later on, you definitely need to see how the nomination was done. Because it was a live performance for each game that was announced, and it was the cherry on fucking top.
It was good. Yeah. You know what? I wish I spent more time with Celeste because, like, just from the music, that like from the little bit that they played from Celeste, I would have probably like picked that. It's got like that super nice 80s like sound to it. Like it's right up my alley.
You said the magic word, synth. So Haseo, 80s
Yep.
synth. He's a big fan of it.
I'm a big fan of 80s synth rock.
But
and 80s synth
I
music
wish
in
I played
general.
that game before they did like the awards. I probably would have picked that just based on the.
Yeah. But the choices were, like you said, Celeste, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, God of War, Monster Hunter World, Rootin' Tootin' Shootin' Bootin' 2, Marvel Spider-Man, and we already know God of War 1, Game of the Year. But I have to say, while Assassin's Creed Odyssey, not in my radar at all of these other games, once again, I couldn't pick between them. Like, I don't know. A part of me
It
kind.
was a hard year to pick one good game of the year.
I'll be honest though. Part of me wanted Spider-Man to win. Part of me really wanted Spider-Man to win.
I wanted Spider-Man to win real bad, because, like, here's my thing. Like I said, I played almost every God of War game, except for Ascension, which is the one that everybody says you can skip. When I posted on my Facebook that I could not get into the new God of War because of how they completely revamped combat and controls and even the fucking camera to make it just absolutely worse compared to how perfect everything was in God of War 3. I was told, like, just get good at the game. I'm like, or like, you're not playing, you should play it for the story. I don't play God of War for the story. I play it for the gameplay. Because God of War, I say this as a fan of God of War. It's got an idiotic plot. It's basically Kratos goes around killing anything that makes him mad and objectively making the world a worse place in the process.
Not wrong.
That is the plot of the God of War series. So, God of War 4, just to be so radically different, like, the way I can best describe the new God of War is that it's God of War that's ashamed to be God of War. Because what's God of War remembered for? Obscene amounts of blood and gore. Ridiculous combos. Kratos screaming at everything. Gregorian chanting choruses in the orchestra. Kratos banging tons of chicks in a sex minigame. Once per game, that was a tradition. And it got to the point where in Ghost of Sparta, he had an 8-way.
I want to have an 8-way.
But then you get this game, and it's basically like trying to humanize someone that the whole point was, you know, escapist fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like
it can be done.
It can be done, but it doesn't need to be done. This doesn't need to be God of War.
I hear you.
It's like when you see his kill count, it's like, okay, I don't think we can humanize him.
This is the guy who tore off Helios's head because he needed a flashlight to get through the darkness.
Hold on.
Didn't decapitate him with a blade. No, he tore his head off with his bare hands.
Okay, I have the perfect response for this. He poisoned our water supply, burned our crops, and delivered a plague into our houses.
He did?
No, but we're gonna wait around until he does.
Or if you want to go with the YouTube poop version from an old classic YouTube poop called, what was it called? It was like Bubble Buddy Will Steal Your Soul, or something like that. It was like, he poisoned our, it was something like, he burned our water supply, poisoned our, what was the quote again? Say the original quote back to me, and then that'll jog my memory.
He poisoned the water supply, burned our crops, and delivered a plague unto our houses.
Oh yeah, it was like he poisoned our plague, burned our water supply, and delivered crops onto our houses. He did? No, but he kept us waiting for a bubble.
Oh, okay. Now, there were a couple of reveals. What I'm going to do is I'll read the name of it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we'll go to the next one, okay? Wild Hearts. I'm guessing that silence is...
I've never played Wild Hearts.
No, it was revealed. It's like the world premiere.
Oh, I have not heard of that one.
Oh, I'll do something real quick on this one. It's for the Switch. It looks like something I would have played in my free time as a teen, or maybe even do like self-imposed challenges. I don't remember more than beyond that. And that's because of my notes. And here's one I know that you're going to want, Haseo, because I want it. Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Hell yeah!
What about you, Josh?
I love me from some Stanley Parable.
I have never played the first one. Like, well, I know it's the same game with like extra stuff, but I've never played it.
I highly recommend it. Like,
yes, I recommend it too, and don't use a guide to get through it. Just play it doing whatever your instincts tell you to do.
exactly. Like,
That's the best way to experience the Stanley Parable.
And I want to mention, and you need to check this out, Haseo. The video they did was fucking amazing.
Also, you should get the demo for the Stanley Parable that's available on the Steam store.
Oh yes, play that first. Play the 8 game.
The demo is not so much like, you know, here's a section of the gameplay from the final game. It's not that. It's more so a taste of what the experience is going to be like without actually showing you a single thing from the final game.
That's amazing. It's like kind of like a prologue then.
Basically.
Yeah, it's presented with the narrator trying to show you the demo for the Stanley Parable, but he can't find where the demo is.
Yeah, Haseo, think about that. You remember how okay, you know how The Last of Us ended up beating Stanley Parable even though it was nominated?
Yeah.
It was like, we even won an award. Best game, The Last of Us. it was subconsciously making fun of itself, and basically it marketed itself as, well, what it is. It's fun, and it's coming to console. If anyone, what I'll do is I'm going to do this, okay? It comes out, I believe next year in March, correct? Or I think
so. Yeah.
What I would do is a week before it comes out, I will play Stanley Parable to a near 100%, right?
Yeah.
Josh, you don't unless you play the game. Don't watch it unless you actually see, you play the game. What I'll end up doing, because this will be before the new content comes in, I will probably give out one Steam version and one PS4 version. And if it comes out on Xbox as well, possibly that as well. I might do that. I think actually that would be kind of fun to do, wouldn't it? Get more people in kind of like a niche story based type thing they can really enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
By the way, if you're an achievement hunter, the Stanley Parable is going to break you.
Oh, someone get Gerard to do it.
It's going to break you because it has 2 achievements in particular that are beyond ridiculous. And then it has one that is just meant to troll you.
Yeah, I tried the speed running one. It's an asshole.
Well, you know what you want to know the achievements I'm talking about?
I know what they are. Inform Josh.
There's go outside. Don't play the Stanley Parable for 5 years. And it literally keeps track. If you play it once during that 5-year period, it resets the counter back to 0.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to wait like 5 years to get your like 100% essentially?
Yes, to 100%. Dude, 100% speed run!
Then there's commitment. Play the Stanley Parable for the entire duration of a Tuesday.
Oh.
So you have to play it for 24 hours, but only on a Tuesday.
Ooh, I might do that.
And then there's unachievable. Unachievable. It is impossible to get this achievement. And it's an achievement that's literally impossible to unlock just to troll people that try to get 100% of the achievements.
What do you have to do?
No, there's nothing you can do. It doesn't unlock.
There's no way to get it.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's no way to get it. It's something that it's programmed so nothing unlocks it.
Oh yeah.
So like a hidden trophy or like?
No.
It's not hidden. There's no trigger for it.
There's no basically if you want 100% the game, you can only 99.9% complete this game.
Yeah. And there's 10 achievements in the game, so you can only 90% it.
Yeah. I do want to say something about the music theme performance they did. It was really good, like better than it should have been, and that's not a bad thing. Here's a game that surprised me. Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3: The Black Order.
Exclusive to Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, I was pissed about that. Like, I really wanted... Like, I never got a chance to play the first 2 games, right?
I'm just glad that one's not being made by Activision this time.
Oh, same. I really wanted to play this game, but the fact that we're getting it, I'm okay with that. But I really wish that it was a multi-console game, or at least a timed exclusive, you know? Even for that first year, I would have been okay with it.
Yeah, that's like... It's a weird one, it being a console.
I've played and beaten the original Marvel Ultimate Alliance. And here's why Ultimate Alliance frustrates me to no end. And Ultimate Alliance 2 as well. And this is why it makes me happy that Activision's not involved. Activision fucked up the DLC for it in ways that I have never seen before or after. Both Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 had DLC characters, DLC heroes and villains that you could play as. And these included some popular characters like Venom, Carnage, Hulk, Magneto. And there are achievements tied to those characters. They removed the DLC from digital stores. And this was years before their contract with Marvel was up. This was years before the Disney buyout. They just up and removed the DLC from stores.
That's shitty.
So the only way you could get those DLC characters was if you had already bought them, or if you tracked down the extremely hard to find and now goes for a lot on the secondhand market because people know how valuable they are, collector, like Game of the Year edition and Gold edition copies of them, which include all the DLC characters on disc.
Oh shit, that's gonna be a nightmare to find.
Yeah, and when they re-released Marvel Ultimate Alliance on PS4 and Xbox One, they included all the DLC characters, but guess what? They delisted those games this year!
Yeah, I know, like, that was weird how they brought it back and then delisted it so quick.
Yeah.
Why even bother then? They signed, like, the license for, like, a year.
I have no idea why they did that.
Because Activision does stuff that makes no sense.
Yeah.
Activision's not evil, they're just stupid.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that was announced, and, well, this goes back to me being a racing fan, and I kind of want to get this DLC in this game. Rocket League, and you get a McLaren 570S supercar. It's gonna be so out of place. It's gonna be so out of place, but so satisfying to actually use.
I really loved racing around as the Batmobile. That was fun.
Oh wow, really? You have it on, I guess, PS4?
Yeah. I've been playing since it first came out.
Maybe a cold stream idea.
Yeah, like I remember when the game came out on PlayStation, they gave it up for free. That's when I grabbed it.
I didn't get it back then. I was I didn't have a PS4 at the time. One that my Irish friend is looking forward to, and that is Far Cry New Dawn, and it takes place like right after, a couple years after Far Cry 4. Watching this one, I want to replay the entire franchise right now, from 1 all the way up to 4. Because it looks...
Are you going to include, hold on, what was... Hold on, what was the
I
Far
have
Cry Vengeance?
Do I even have that?
That's the one for Nintendo Wii.
I don't have that one.
It has a 38
Oh,
on Metacritic.
If you get it for me, I'll play it.
They tried to port an Xbox game to the Nintendo Wii and somehow made it worse.
Hmm. So yeah, Josh, what are your thoughts on that one?
I tried to play Far Cry 5, and I really wanted to continue it because I think the story is super interesting. But I just hate the open world of it. It's just like there's a lack of like direction, and then I just like start to tune out of like Ubisoft.
So you would rather watch someone play it then, I'm guessing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I'm afraid that's gonna happen when what's Beyond Good and Evil comes out.
Well, I'm looking
It's
forward to
gonna
that.
like Assassin, like Far Cry. I'm afraid that's gonna happen.
The other game was Forza Horizon 4, which I told you I got. I got it last night, I think. My thing with them is they've been killing Gran Turismo big time. And I remember how big the rivalry between Forza and Gran Turismo was, and I loved it. And it's just not there. Forza right now, since 3, probably has been the stronger game.
Like Gran Turismo's been too concerned with making the game look super pretty, and in terms of content.
So you're
Gran Turismo kind of feels like the same like game, like each time.
like for me personally, my favorites were 3 and 4. Those are both on the PS2, and I do want to do a 100% playthrough of both those games once I get a PS2 steering wheel. But once it hit PS3, like the whole mechanics just felt so different, and I just couldn't get into it. I mean, I got Sport, but I got it when it was like $20. I waited, and for a franchise I love, I was in the beta, right? For a franchise I love, I want them to kind of go back. Like I think I told you before, my favorite racing map they had was Trials Mountain. Trial Mountain. My all-time favorite map. It had elevation changes, some tricky cornering here and there, a nice S-bend type of hairpin, almost curb-esque, which when I was bored or I was losing, wasn't that much. I would just cut like the corners, have my car fly up on 2 wheels, have no penalty, and just like ram my friends who I end up lapping sometimes as well. And the thing is, the perfect
spot to hit it.
Just for fun, But it was the racing game, and you have people nowadays that'll say Gran Turismo 6 was the, but I'm still a hard 3 and 4 fan, to the point where last year one of my favorite racing YouTubers actually recorded a few videos with it, and I'm very content with that, because that was actually one of my recommendations that he didn't put in his video but actually took to heart, and that was Fail Race. Big shout out to him on that. And here's one I want to play against both of you. Crash Team Racing Nitro Refueled.
Oh, hell yeah.
I was bouncing in my chair when I saw that.
Kart racer of all time is back in H.
Oh, man, I really want to play you guys in that. I don't think we need to say much about that. Its name
I put out
says.
a video today on YouTube going over like the trailer. I'm a little late to the party, but it goes over the trailer and all the details so far.
Oh, I definitely will have a link to that video in the description, and I'll even if I can, I'll see if I can have a clickable link in the video so people can go right to that and then come right back here if need be.
Nice.
Cause I'm gonna see if I can get that going again.
That'd be good, so they can like come like right back to the...
Exactly. All they gotta do is hit the back button, and they're right back here. The Atlas. It was the No Man's Sea with content, basically. I don't know. For me personally, it's not my kind of game. It does look amazing, but it's the game I think I would like to see maybe Komodo Gaming, OB, and Spy Cakes do, or maybe Neebs Gaming. I don't know. I think I would like to see them play that. And what about you guys?
That was by Atlas, right?
Yeah, no. Atlas was the pirate game.
Oh, sorry, that's right. Yeah.
I have
I
not heard of
remember
this one.
Oh, it was announced E3. It was the pirate game. You say it looked really good, and it should have been what that Microsoft pirate game should have been.
Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, it's the game that Sea of Thieves should have been, but it looks so much good. I can see it doing really good on Twitch. I'll leave it. I'll end my part off of Atlas. It looks like it's going to do really well on Twitch.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
The other game is a game I'm really looking forward to, and it's called Survived By, and it's like a roguelike medieval style game, and I think I got to double check, and I'll have a little asterisk to if I'm right or wrong, but I think it's by the makers of Enter the Gungeon, and it's like Enter the Gungeon mixed with Rogue Legacy, and it looks really interesting. Like anyone who's a fan of those two franchises would be a fan of this.
It's like if you die, you have like a second character that like avenges.
Yes, that's just like Rogue Legacy does. And the thing about Rogue Legacy is each of the characters that you control has some kind of gimmick to it. Like one character are super strong, so like projectiles won't work, but if they'll suffer like jump damage or something like that. But that's not real with one. Like if a character's blind, so everything's kind of dark except for where the character is at, or a character is colorblind, so the entire screen is just black and white. Fun little gimmicks like that, you know.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of either Rogue Legacy or Enter the Gungeon, you will be a fan of it because it does have some bullet hell type bosses and it's co-op. Oh, and there's one Haseo I know you're going to be super happy about. Psychonauts 2.
Yeah.
I know it's bitter. It's kind of bittersweet.
Yeah. About damn time that we finally heard some news about that.
Yeah, they've been quiet.
Yeah. I think it's not much to really talk about on that one, but it's Psychonauts 2. It looks interesting.
Yeah.
I haven't tried
I'm already.
Rhombus of Ruin yet. The VR.
I haven't played Rhombus of Ruin because I don't have any VR stuff.
Same.
But I guess I have to because Tim Schafer, in his infinite genius, decided that the cliffhanger that Psychonauts ended off on, 10 years ago, would be resolved in Rhombus of Ruin instead of Psychonauts 2.
Well, if you are going to get some VR equipment, I do suggest waiting for the season 2, the second edition stuff to come out. I mean,
I would probably get a PSVR just because my laptop's not powerful enough to run VR stuff.
Yeah, the Vive is like it takes up quite a bit of like processing power.
And well, this next one, I'm just going to say one thing about it, and then you guys can go, okay?
All right.
Devil May Cry 5. And my one thing about that, Haseo reviews is all I'm gonna say.
Yep, I'm gonna have to do that when it comes out. I reviewed all of the Devil May Cry games so far, and now I'm gonna have to do this one.
Oh, did you do DMC as well?
I did DMC as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I gotta go back and watch your reviews. I really want to know about like DMC.
DMC,
Even like Devil May Cry
DMC
2,
more like belongs in the trash.
Belong in the can.
Yeah, and like, here's the thing about my Devil May Cry. I know shameless plug here for my reviews, but for my Devil May Cry reviews, I'm not coming at them from the perspective of a long-time Devil May Cry fan, reminiscing over the entire series in preparation for Devil May Cry 5. I'm looking at it from the perspective of someone that played Devil May Cry 3 in middle school, the demo of Devil May Cry 4, and then nothing else until this year.
My only experience with Devil May Cry is the demo that came with, I think it was Resident Evil. I still have that demo. And then me and my friend, I had a Game Shark. We hacked in everything and just we had fun with playing with overpowered shit.
Yeah, so this marathon is what turned me into a fan. It's not me being a fan going into it. Like, now I understand why people like Devil May Cry so much.
I know why people like it.
Now I really understand why DMC was such a failure.
Yeah.
And deserved to be a failure.
Also, I do want to make a quick side note as well. I'm sorry to cut you off, Josh. The PS Classic, while the thing is shit, I do want to say the commercial was a nostalgia bomb. All right, sorry, Josh. Go ahead. What were your thoughts on this Devil May Cry 5?
No. Going on that. Yeah, the commercial was really good. Yeah, I was gonna say for Devil May Cry, like DMC lost the spirit of it, and I think they even made fun of it.
They did. The mop. Or the wig, whatever it was.
Yeah, just that random white wig that blows onto Dante, and he looks at himself in the mirror, and he looks vaguely like original Dante, but not really, because he still has that bizarre-looking face. And then he says, "Not in a million years."
You know what would have been really good that would have not gotten, something that would have been really good that would have not pissed people off, where we says, not bad, and they took it off.
Or if they had just not done that ever.
Yeah, I mean, at least if they did the hey, not bad, they would be like, okay, they at least have some kind of respect for the old ones.
Yeah, because with DMC, it really felt like it was being handled by people that hated Devil May Cry rather than people that were trying to reinvent the series for a new audience. It didn't feel it didn't feel like Ninja Theory were trying it didn't feel like Ninja Theory were trying to westernize Devil May Cry. It felt like Ninja Theory were like, we'll show you we can do it better. Like that infamous comment that the director Tamim made about how original Dante would get laughed out of any bar in the West.
Wow. He said that? Wow.
Yeah, he said that.
I hate it even more.
And then there's the famous quote from a magazine interview with him. And this is... I may be paraphrasing here because I can't remember exactly word for word what it was, but this is how it was written in the interview. The interviewer asks him, like, what his thoughts are on, the negative backlash against all the changes that are being made to Devil May Cry in DMC. Like, to Dante's backstory, to Dante's design, to fucking everything. And here's how the interviewer wrote Tamim's response. He takes a long drag of his cigarette. He pauses for a moment, and without exhaling, he says, "I don't care."
On to something a little more The other game that had a trailer, it actually kind of goes along with what is going on with that story. Rage 2. Any thoughts on that, Joe?
I'm honestly surprised that Rage 2 is happening because I didn't think that Rage had enough of a following to warrant a sequel.
Yeah, I completely agree. Is this one being made by id as well?
I didn't even know.
Yeah, from what I can tell, it's being made by id. Let me check.
The main thing I got from the trailer they showed was
let's see, being made by id and Avalanche.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so they're both working on the project.
Yeah.
Oh, and some news about Rage 2 here. It's not going to be launching on Steam. You know what else didn't launch on Steam? Fallout 76!
So yeah, guys, everyone is watching.
Don't buy the PC version! Don't fucking do it!
Don't order the PS4 version because if you download it, you're fucked. Basically, just wait. Wait for someone to be a guinea pig for you.
Yeah.
Someone a YouTube reviewer you trust, not the games journalist, which I do want to go more in depth about that because you know how I mentioned the quartering before? They outright slandered a guy's name that was going to be working for exclusively games, and yeah, more
the guy that who got fired from GOG.
Yeah, for some dumb reasons, and the thing is, he tried to apologize and shit, which would have made the whole thing blow over. Basically, they ran him under a bus, they fucked him over, and they ousted him out the game industry due to harassment. That was fucked up. And I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. I'm genuinely pissed about that because the level of harassment for what happened was not warranted. It wasn't like he raped or killed somebody. I'm sorry. I'm just really pissed off with that.
Yeah, it's like some people in the games journalism like
cut out.
Yeah, like I was saying, like some people in games journalism.
Some people in game journal,
like they take these things way too far, and then after like just like spread like information that like
is false.
Really,
yeah, it's straight up slander, which is because you attack someone that's in the U.S. and you do have a U.S. division. That's slander, which is a federal crime. So that's a federal. It was been a good case for him to win. But the thing is, they said he doesn't know how to handle situations like this, and just decided to leave it, which I don't blame him. I really don't. But someone that could have helped him. Joker reveal was amazing.
Oh, and Smash.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Bayonetta's son.
Hold on.
All those memes that have been popping up about Joker being Bayonetta's son.
Hold on. I gotta set some stuff up for a sound effect. Okay. You ready? You heard it. Basically, throw all the shit.
Here's what I gotta say to the people that are making jokes about Joker being Bayonetta's son. I've played Bayonetta 1 and 2 a lot. And there's a quote from Bayonetta 1, which is a response to her being asked if Cereza is her daughter. She says, "I'm not interested in children, darling. Now making them, on the other hand."
Yeah, and that comic that someone drew Bayonetta is so smug. It's like, not you, Bayonetta.
It's like that comic where Joker's like, okay, who all here thought that Bayonetta was seriously my mom? And then everyone's raising their hands, including Bayonetta.
You know what the first thing that came to mind when I saw that? Dragon Ball Z Abridged, the Team 4 Star, where it's like, you're a mama's boy, huh? I'll be your mama.
You're a mama's boy, huh? I'll be your mommy. Internal screaming.
That's what I got from that. Now, the next bit right here are basically, so I put it in likes, dislikes, but for me, I'm going to bump both of these games as a single topic. Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey, and Scavenger. Now, the thing about the first one, right? The game reminded me too much of Conan Exiles, Ark Survival Evolved mixed with Tokyo Jungle, and it could be because I watched Neebs Gaming religiously. I couldn't see myself playing either of those games. And same thing with Scavenger. Not enough was shown, but it looks like it plays like a mix of the Metro games, which are I want to pick up the books. I heard wonderful things, with a little bit of Dawn Horizon from what I'm seeing basically. And the thing about survival games is it's an oversaturation. There's a literal oversaturation on Steam, for example. To the point,
like varying quality.
Yeah, like Ark Survival Evolved, you can argue is good or bad. It's really in the meh. Conan Exiles, it's a little lower than meh. But I'm guessing you guys agree with me on that, or disagree?
Yeah, I think like Joe enough.
All right.
They look like mill.
Yeah.
They're gonna have Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider be a trial, which I'm sitting here like, okay, why is that? Why?
Because it bombed in sales at launch, so they have to get people to buy it somehow.
The whole Tomb Raider thing, the whole reboot got me confused. It was like, we see her become the Tomb Raider, we see her become a Tomb Raider again. It's like
it's a never-ending origin story that goes nowhere.
Yeah.
Yep. Like, I kind of hoped that like she would be the way she was like after but no, it didn't end up panning out that way.
Yeah.
I like Tomb Raider games. Seeing her like change is like very obvious.
Let's see. Well, that was a DLC for Player Unknown's Battleground, which okay. That's what I gotta say on that. Something else I didn't like was an anti-vaping commercial, right? Where it says you're 4 times more likely to smoke a cigarette now because you vaped. And I'm sitting there like, are you talking to nicotine users or non-nicotine, vape? Because there's two different types of vapes. The thing is, people tend to use the vapes in order to get away from cigarettes. So now your statistics are going to be screwed by actual statistics, which I'm pretty sure can easily be found, because why is Big Tobacco so against vapes? You see the flaw right there. Like, where did you get your statistics? Please, I genuinely want to know, because everything you search will most likely show people are buying less cigarettes and more vapes. Like, even I got a vape right now, but that's non-nicotine. Last Campfires by... Oh, sorry.
Oh, I haven't seen that company, like, Truth, since, like, the 90s. Where did they go?
I haven't seen them since, like, I don't know, 2010? 9? I don't know. I think I was still in high school.
Yeah.
When they had those shocking commercials. I don't know. Another game that came out, that was announced, was Last Campfire by Hello Games. And because of the whole stigma they had with I would look into it with caution. but it does look kind of cute. Like the character looks like a mix of Ewoks with Sackboy. I mean, if you tell anyone the main character looks like an Ewok mixed with a Sackboy, I think that already got people interested.
I think it's gonna be like the Joe Danger. So I think it'll.
Ooh. Joe Danger isn't all that bad either. I mean, it did say like it was a Hello Game short, so maybe like a 3-4 hour game. I wouldn't.
Like back to like the project.
Either thing, even though I put this on my do not like one, I might end up picking that up, just because of what I talked about with No Man's Sky. I actually might pick it up. Hello Games, I have no fan base, but if you'd like to give me a reviewer key, I'll be much appreciated. Thank you. Did Wolf Rises? For me, it showed nothing but it showed nothing but cinematic. There was no hype, no nothing told about it, really.
That's Dragon Age, right?
No, Did Wolf Rises?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dread Wolf Rises, was it?
No, Did Wolf Rises. Did the Wolf Rises? I don't know why I said it like that. Basically, nothing was showed. It was like I can't even remember. That's
Dread Wolf Rises.
Oh, Dread Wolf. Oh,
and that is the 4th Dragon Age game.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
What they showed there showed like nothing to me. Like I got no hype whatsoever from that. Wow. Oh yeah, I was going to avoid this game anyway because of some politics that was in it.
And it's also from EA.
Oh god.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like BioWare. Sad.
Yeah, one of the games here that I put here, right? I put it in my my dislike one, mainly because it looked like an endless runner. I'm gonna read you what I put. The game is called Pathless. It looked like Endless Runner of the Wild featuring Skull Kid. But you play it as a Japanese archer, and you had to jump around, shoot these targets. It had me asking some questions. Like I said, a lot of these cinematics didn't show too much, or I should say, didn't show enough. I'm sitting there wondering, why is this character on a journey? Who is this character? Can I see him a little bit more of his gameplay? Like, you don't need to show a lot. But, like, I do wish that had a little more context to it. And I do have some other stuff that I also put in the OK stuff. And I do want to hear your thoughts on Pathless, Josh. Or do you not remember that one? I'm kind of curious.
Pathless. That's the Endless Runner one.
The one that looked like an endless runner, where you had the girl that was archer. She was Japanese descent. It looked. I will say this though, that it looked like really clean for the character design.
Yeah, it looks okay.
Oh, I got something to add to that, dude. Ruby Rose, but Japanese archer. Just because of all the red and black. I know someone's going to hate me for that. The other game that was announced was called Among the Trees, and it's a Steam early access. And it's too early. It's really too early to say anything about this game as well, except that it looked like another walking sim, which we have enough of. But the reason I just put this in the OK and not in the dislike, I might buy the OST for this, because what they showed in the trailer was really beautiful.
Yeah, it sounded good.
Here's something that I think me, Haseo, and Miss Palindrome would probably watch for fun. Alita Battle Angel. it really looked like something you kill a Sunday night with. And I know nothing beyond that.
Was that again?
It was the movie they showed, the little clip, Alita Battle Angel. It was CG, but at times looked like real life. And the guy was about to pick up like a scythe. The other guy picked him up, slammed him to the wall, and said, "Now you watch her die." And she was fighting like an android. You don't remember it, I'm guessing.
No, not really.
But they did make a keyboard versus mouse joke that was really fucking cringy. And anyone who's both a PC and console gamer would tell you both have the pros and cons. For example, if you're going to be playing a sim like Civilization or playing a first-person shooter, you're best going keyboard and mouse. But if you're doing like an RPG or fighting game, you're better with a controller. Fighting arguable with a fight stick. Yeah. Hades.
That one looks good.
For me personally, it just looked because I think me personally, the reason I just say it looks I have both Transistor and Bastion. I have not really got a chance to play them besides like the opening levels. And I think for me to personally get hyped for them, I would need to play those games, and I honestly wouldn't mind. I should stream them actually and try and get hyped for Hades.
Yeah, for Transistor, the music is
Oh, didn't oh, sorry, but didn't Transistor win an award for music one time?
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure my sources were right.
Like a lot of the music is not like common time. It's like plays on that 5-3. So like it ends up sounding like.
So like what you got cut off? Sorry.
Oh, like it ends up sounding really interesting because it's not in like 4/4 time signatures.
Oh.
The music like plays with like different time signatures and different styles.
Oh, that reminds me. Haseo showed me a song that had like the tempo and time signature changed rapidly throughout the entire song. It was like an 8-minute song.
Yep. Dance of Eternity.
Yes, everyone go see that. Go buy that song. iTunes now.
Is that Dream?
Yes, it's Dream Theater.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Did buy Daylight Darkness Among Us. That trailer. Here's the thing. I kind of justified why I put it over here in the just okay area. For me, it was, yeah, we've seen this overdone in movies where you have this guy pop out of nowhere, kill a guy and all that, but horror in general is difficult to really scare anyone nowadays because we are so used to it to the point jump scares are the only way you can get a cheap scare out of us now.
Yeah, this hero doesn't look that. Sorry, not hero. Doesn't look that. As compared to like Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like maybe the actual gameplay would look better, you know.
Yeah, it would have. It would have.
Yeah, the whole reason why I put it in a just okay spot because I felt like because everyone's so desensitized to horror and stuff that it would be just unfair, you know. But Anthem. Yeah, I'll take both your silences as yeah. My whole thing was a comment they made in the story. And it's the only reason why I put it in a just okay spot because I made myself laugh. When they mentioned walls, I was thinking Shingeki no Kyojin or Attack on Titan with the Titans because they were behind a wall. And the wall can only keep out so much, huh?
That would have made this game a lot more interesting.
Hey, have Titans in it? Hold on. So hold on. Steampunk Attack on Titans. with extra futuristic elements, basically.
It's like Titanfall meets Attack on Titan. This.
That actually sounds.
You mean Attack on Titanfall?
That actually sounds interesting, though. All joking aside, because it is so out there, so batshit insane. It sounds so batshit interesting. Let me see. Otherworld.
Attack on Titan.
Yeah. Otherworld.
It looks like Borderlands.
Yeah, the only thing I really got was I love how they market it. As they mentioned, the OG Fallout and New Vegas.
The OG Fallout and New Vegas.
That's the whole reason.
Those two.
That's the whole reason why
the good ones, not the Bethesda ones.
Yeah, that's the whole reason why I put it in the okay, because I love the marketing. Here's my thing. I'm looking at it as not just as a gamer. I'm looking at it as someone who wants to go into video game development and design himself. You know, the whole marketing. I'm looking at it as different perspectives, basically. But yeah. Your thoughts on Otherworld, Josh? Outer World.
They've recently come out and said that it's not gonna Fallout New Vegas, so it's gonna be like a experience.
Oh, let me also mention I know I just put it in the okay because I know it's not my kind of genre. I love how they did the opening as well. How they showed it, I love that.
It's really giving me some Borderlands.
Yeah, even the jokes.
Like the slapstick.
No,
like, as hard.
Even the jokes. It's like you didn't shoot them both. You didn't shoot either, but you do you. That's actually a quote. The other game was Dauntless, and I really had no opinion on that one. Yeah, they didn't show it. They really didn't show anything, so I really have no opinion. Because of that, I couldn't put it in the dislike or likes, but because I couldn't make an opinion, I mean, you could argue that shit. I really should have been in my dislikes. Strangers.
Not enough show.
Yeah. Stranger Things 3, the game. My response to that was I didn't know there was a 1 and 2.
Yeah. Didn't know there was a 1 and 2 either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's yeah. That's really bad marketing when the first thing that comes out of all of our mouths are there was a 1 and 2. And I just got 3 more things that I want to discuss as well. Probably one of the worst things that actually came out of this thing was the performance by Devil Trigger.
Really? You didn't like it?
No, the singer sounded so flat. Like, I'd rather have just had an instrumental. Like, the guy singing was really, really dull sounding and sounded bored to me. And people, like, she sounded better, but she still was flat. And I kind of, I know her singing isn't that flat. And I think it was because of him. I think he was the reason why. Because you could even see her face during the performance. So it was like, wait, what the fuck? But, if you were to look at the live chat during that part, even everyone was like, it was torture. And you had people wanting Despacito. And one more thing about the performance. The Reddit performance, while it was long, I loved every second of it. And the best comment that I also saw in the live chat was, I'm not going to cry. I'm not crying. Like, it was so beautiful. Like, when I go see my grandfather on my next day off, I'm going to play that particular part for him, and I want his opinion. And I'll, based on what he says, good or bad, I am most likely going to pin that at the very top, just so people can see what he had to say. And I do have the very last thing I wanted to mention, and this is a big shout out right here, and it's for Able Gamers. I love the segment with Steve, and I think it was really kind of fucked up how his guidance counselors at the high school were like, "Oh, you're handicapped. You don't got much to live. Fuck you. Enjoy the rest of your life before you die," basically. That was really fucked up. And I personally have met many people, many wonderful people with different disabilities, from high functioning to somewhat low functioning. And a lot of them, I will straight up tell you, are doing a whole lot better than I am. I believe a few of them are even lawyers. So anyone who wants to basically shit on people who are disabled of any kind of caliber, fuck you. And I mean that from my heart and soul. Fuck you. And I'm sorry, but not sorry for sounding really mean. But yeah,
No, it's true. Like he made some like fun people.
Yeah.
After high school.
So yeah, we've been recording for over 3 hours and 40 minutes. It is 2:25 a.m. I'm gonna be fucked for tomorrow. Guys, thank you so much for coming on my first podcast. I really do appreciate it, and I hope we can do many, many more. Even if it's gonna be like a wrap up of events that happened via that month. Maybe right now with the holiday season is really kind of crazy, so I don't know how I would do more podcasts, but at least once a month I would like to get together with you guys.
No problem. I'd be up for that.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, because
I had a lot of fun with you guys.
not only that, we like I said, we all have while we do have similar trains of thought. I mean, like the whole thing with GameStop is that we do have like a little bit of conflicting ideas, and that it allows us to grow. It allows us to almost critique each other in ways, and it's a strong part of growing. Not just as humans, not just our own platforms, but dare I say it, as friends. I do, like I said, and I not keep saying this, but links to both of their YouTube channels, their Twitch channels will be in the description, and if I can get it working, a little clicky box. I also, what I actually may do is break it down into hour segments or hour and a half segments, so they're a little easier to digest. Because, like I said, when you have like a 3-hour long video, it does get a little overwhelming for some people. So I might break it down into hour-long segments, like the first hour, second hour, the third hour and change. But
Yeah, you can like break it down like per topic.
yeah, actually that's a good idea. Break it down for topic, and basically have it where the next episode of Dragon Ball Z, where it's like, and that brings us into our next segment. But yeah, once again, a lot of people that were shouting out were Bear With Us, who is a wonderful, wonderful Twitch streamer. Really cool, down to earth guy. I mentioned Anthony CSN. Shouldn't be gaming Haseo as well. And of course, joshrockstark. Young, yeah, we mentioned the quartering.
Sid Alpha.
Thank you, Sid Alpha. There's also websites we mentioned as well, which I have all of them in my sources right here. Like Night Sky Prince, Final Fantasy Peasant. What we got for my Gundam source was comicbook.com, the Anime News Network. I got the staffed in information from Anime News Network as well, and Something I do want to talk about later, but I kind of want to get more into it, was how guns will influence pop culture. There's a few videos I want to reference as well for that. That's a whole nother topic. The whole Review Tech USA. I didn't mention them, but a lot of their sources I did get from
Rich.
yeah. Thank you. Oh, something else I forgot to mention about Bethesda was the spawn rate. Oh shit. Allegedly the spawn rate, yeah. But that's too late now. Jim Sterling was another one we mentioned as well. And that was pretty much most of the people. I know we probably... Oh, OB, Komodo Gaming, and Spykicks. I will admit, they're my guilty pleasures of YouTube. But anyone I've missed, I definitely will have their links in the description. If you did enjoy the content, like and subscribe. If you want more, please continue discussion down in the comments, because I really would love to address some of the comments, and I'm pretty sure you guys would as well on your own platforms. Just to bring about further discussion, because one thing I will admit that back in a Jason Schreier interview, discussion does need to happen.
Yeah.
And we are slowly starting to see that, but at the same time, it's happening in the wrong way. And I just hope the three of us can at least hope to get it started in the right way. Anyway, guys, thank you for showing up. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, any last words?
I got two last words for you. Okay.
What?
Pizza time.
For those, okay, I got the video up here, so I'll actually show what I did. For those who don't know, me and Haseo have a little thing, right? Where if one of us says something really just flat out like punny or something, we'll just exit the call, wait a few seconds, and come right back in. Josh, what about you?
I don't know how I can top that.
Well, we'll end it off with Pizza Tie. With the
subscribe to PewDiePie. Defeat T-Series.
Oh, yes, he has a video. Hold on, PewDiePie actually has a video that says do not subscribe to PewDiePie. I mean, I need to see it. Also, before I go, I have a way to top the Pizza Time. And you want to know what that is?
What?
YouTube Rewind 2018 of the time it's recording at 2:32 a.m. 12/14/2018 has 2 million thumbs up and 11 million thumbs down.
We did it, boys. It's the new most disliked video on YouTube. Dethroning Baby by Justin Bieber.
And you already know I'm going to have that memes like, wait, oh yeah, that's hot. That's hot. Oh. Anyway, guys, have a wonderful night.
It's morning, you fuck.
What's that quote? What a wonderful morning for a wonderful night, or it's a Castlevania thing.
Well, a horrible night to have a curse.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or if you're going by the Super Smash Brothers version from the memes that spawned from the trailer for Simon and Richter, what a horrible night to be Luigi.
Oh.